a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
He's gone! 10-5 touchdown! Raiders!
2 years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We are back, man. You already know what time it is, man.
Oh, you didn't know?
50-50.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show with PharoahNFL and the Severe Raider, the realest show for Raider Nation.
The perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Man, you already know what time it is, man. It's the 50-50 Show with yours truly, PharoahNFL, obviously. My guy, the Severe Raider. We're going live on both our channels, so make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, we got a great show lined up, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. It's a lot to talk about, man. It's the first week, man. We here, man. Hey, yeah. NFL kicks off this Thursday?
Thursday.
Right?
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday, man. NFL, they trying to get their bread. Like Thursday, man. Friday. Next thing you know, it's gonna be every other day, just like the NBA, man. I don't know how NFL players are gonna make it look like that because it's crazy out here. But we appreciate everybody pulling up, man, and everybody's patience, man. You already know what time it is, man. It's the late night show, the 50-50 Show. My guy Chewy, man. Let me make this bigger here. Hold on 1 second. He says the thumbnail's hilarious. Which one? It's Severe's or I do have the Tom Brady.
I'm sure it's yours. People always crack up at that Tom Brady, Mark Davis thing.
Yeah, man, the time Mark Davis, man. But it get hey, I get my point across though. It's funny, man. Shout out to man. I'll give credit. I didn't make it, personally, but it's a funny social media thing, man. They got so many versions of it too. They got one where it's like, I think I posted it on X, where it's like super wrinkled. It looks a lot more. It looks a lot more like Mark Davis, but like an older version of Tom Brady. If that makes any sense, it's kind of weird. But there's so many different versions of it. It's hilarious. Ricky in the building says, "Bro, we haven't even played a game yet. Why are you worried about next year's draft?" What is this reference to? I'm not sure. Are you talking about? Did you post something? Severe? I don't know.
No.
What are you talking about?
I ain't saying nothing about the draft.
Yeah, man. I got. If you're talking about the thumbnail, man, I got Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, and Geno Smith. Man, those are guys. They part of the Raiders. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. Yeah.
My thumbnail was just Tom Brady. Just Tom Brady in that clean jacket.
Man. Donald in the building, man, says, why haven't we upgraded our secondary? And I know it's early, but you think we can get Geno's cousin out of Ohio State for our future wide receiver? That means the Raiders would have to lose a lot of games, I would think, man. Like he's
maybe
that's guys.
Maybe that's what the previous guy was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's probably talking about Donald. Okay, well, just real quickly, I think the Raiders would have to lose a lot of games, and I would think that like Jeremiah Smith, if he comes out next year, he would be the best number one receiver to come out.
Yeah,
he's probably gonna go like top 5, top 10,
top 5 for sure.
So if that happens, like, it's gonna be a tough season this year, like. Because I think a lot of people, you know what? I've noticed people are picking the Raiders to win like 8 games, at least 8 games. I've seen 8 games. I say 7.
Yeah. Jeremiah Smith, he was a true freshman last year. Him and Ryan Williams. So neither one of them are eligible.
Oh, they can't even come out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have to be 2 full years removed.
Yeah, there you go. Hey man, Severe with the facts.
That's ECG. ECG put it in the comments.
Okay, salute to ECG, my guy, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. We got Marcos worth the wait, man. My guy, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. As always, salute Raider Nation. 707, yee, my guy, man. Appreciate you coming through. Chill Ray was good. LS in the building, my guy. Lewis. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, the night crew, man. He's in the building, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Hey, man. Oh, man, all good, man. Respect for you pulling up, man, and supporting. LS, yeah, man, we're going to get into that, man. The depth chart was released, the first official depth chart heading into week 1. There's been other depth charts, but this is like, these are going to be the starters going into next week's game. And Kyrou Blue Kelly is the starter on the outside. Darren Porter looks like he needs some time, which is kind of like we'll see. It's a long season. So I'm sure like Darren Porter is going to get his opportunity out there, but man, like it's not like he's 20 years old, like he's 24, 25, he hasn't had a lot of experience playing at corner. Converted wide receiver, but when he got drafted, we're kind of betting on Pete Carroll to develop him. So we'll give it time. We'll see how it shakes out. But we'll get into that conversation in a little bit. Everybody pulling up, man. Hey, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Mario, man, 10-7. Hey, man, I hope so, man. 10-7. That's gonna be a fun season.
That'll be a great turnaround
for sure. And if they get to that number too. I know for a fact it's going to be because it's going to be that offense is going to be leading the way, and which is going to be fun to watch. Yeah, man, appreciate you pulling up. We ain't getting Smith. I know. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it'll be bad unless we trade up. But other than that, we have to be pretty.
Yeah, Yes, sir. Kevin Lurker in the building, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Ernest Biaggi, man. He says it's going to be fun to see this Raiders team. Yeah, definitely. I think the offense, for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing how that. I'm looking forward to seeing Genty, seeing him as a running back, seeing what type of running back he can be for the Raiders. Obviously, we'll look at the depth chart and we'll get into that in a second. We'll see like the starters, like guys like Dante Thornton. Looks like he's gonna be starting the season on the outside, which is gonna be interesting. And we got to keep an eye on this. And I know we haven't heard any type of official contract announcements, but Jacoby Myers. I know he's kind of upset that he hasn't had a contract extension. Does he do you see him real quick? Do you see him missing the game? Because he hasn't get, you know what I mean? It's kind of a weird situation because I know he wants to get paid.
Yeah. That's not the kind of I don't foresee that happening. That's not the kind of guy he strikes me as. Through all of this, he's been participating in everything. Voluntary, mandatory. The day afterwards, he was back at practice. So it doesn't strike me as a guy that's gonna be like, I'm gonna miss a game and miss money.
Yeah. And King 85 says, can you guys help me understand why Raider Nation acts like Pete can do no wrong? Just because he had the Legion of Boom doesn't mean he can take whatever and turn it into greatness. Secondary is ridiculous. I know. You can make your argument, man, because today, man, I've been active on X lately. It's been it's been crazy, just to say the least. But I made a comment saying that the Raiders, probably have one of the worst wide receiver cores in the NFL, based off the talent they have that's unproven. Now, do we have hopes for it being good? Obviously, but if you just look at it on paper, the only one for sure bet that is going to be a effective player is Jacoby Myers. But and I got a lot of people respected it. Some people were like, nah, I don't agree. It is what it is. But you can make an argument and say that the secondary might be one of the worst in the NFL. We could make a great argument. I think Raider Nation might all agree on that one. That the secondary might be, one of the worst in the NFL, because we're kind of betting on Pete to develop that secondary, a young secondary, starting with the cornerback room, even the safeties. Outside of Palomalu's his first year officially starting. Obviously he's had starts under his belt, but this is his first year kind of going into the season starting. Jeremy Chin, he's a vet. We know that. But that nickel situation is questionable. The starting outside receivers, questionable. Eric Stokes he's penciled in as a starter as well, but he's been hurt, for a majority of his career. It's kind of it's all over the place. So it's one of those things we got to wait and see. But what's your take on the secondary, Severe?
It is. It's a hodgepodge, man. It's just, Isaiah Palomalu and Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin is a proven vet. Isaiah Palomalu he's kind of a vet, but not necessarily proven. He had played most of last year as a starter, but before that, he was, kind of special teams, afterthought type of guy. Then you got Eric Stokes, who was former high pick, first round pick, super athletic, long corner, fast, but injury prone, really hasn't shown much since his rookie year. Kaibu Kelly was a guy that wasn't even deemed worthy enough to play at all last year when we desperately needed cornerback help. He didn't see the field really last year. And so now he goes from not even seeing the field at all last year to now he's a starter. Darian Porter, who we kind of penciled in as a starter, as a guy they really wanted to see and wanted to get as much time on task as possible, because he is that, not necessarily a young draft pick, but he is a young player in the league, and they want to get him as much experience as they can to kind of expedite that development. But now he's a reserve, so it's yeah, man, the secondary, it could be atrocious. It could be atrocious.
Yeah. So a lot of it is development, and we're kind of betting on Pete Carroll to do that, but he has a history of doing it. But we'll see how it shakes out this year. But I think there might be some growing pains to start the season. But unless they got something up their sleeve, they're going to be ready to go, and that's on the coaching staff to have them prepared. But when you got young guys, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of growing pains. But Darian Porter is obviously going to be coming off the bench. Man, that nickel situation is ugly. I think we'll look at it real quick. We'll pull it up. Man, we appreciate everybody pulling up. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Was good, Larry, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Yeah, I see you said I don't see Jacoby missing games. Yeah, man, it's a tough situation for him. And hopefully you know what I see it maybe playing out? They might give him a raise this year and maybe test the market. Give him a raise, kind of like how, Hendrickson was able to get his raise this year with the Bengals. And I think he might be a free agent. Is he a free agent after this year?
Yeah, he's free agent. Yeah,
so then he gets to test the market. So I think that's I guess that might be the best middle ground, because it sounds like this regime they want their guys in the building, man, which is like kind of it's normal, man. A lot of new regimes want their guys in the building. So
yeah,
it is what it is, man. But we appreciate everybody pulling up. Let's get into that depth chart, man, real quick. We were just talking about that, so I guess let's go ahead and just get into that real quick. Here we go. Let me know if you can see it. All right. So let's start with the starters, man. Starting on that outside X receiver spot, Dante Thornton gets the start, man. Rookie. We didn't believe it. I'm not gonna lie. I had my doubts. I mean, guys drafted in the 4th round. I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be a developmental year. I mean, he still is, but I thought he was gonna be coming off the bench. But from OTAs to training camp and now week 1, Dante Thornton is the starting outside X receiver. So that's going to be interesting to see and how that plays out. They're probably still working in Amari Cooper into the offense too. So keep an eye on that. And, there might be, if Dante can hold off Amari Cooper, that's cool, man. That's a perfect situation. Like, Amari could just be a role player wide receiver. I mean, and just an insurance policy. But right now, Dante's listed as a starter. Any surprises there, Severe?
No, I mean, it's kind of what we've been seeing all offseason. He's been the guy there. So we assumed that was going to be Darian Porter, but Dante is, I guess they could have, conceivably threw Amari Cooper right there if they wanted to. But, I'm glad that they're keeping the speed on the field with Dante.
Mm-hmm. And then, obviously the offensive line real quick, they got Cole Miller, Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, which we've talked about time and time again. Like, he's won the starting center spot, which he's probably one of the biggest surprise maybe coming out of training camp. Like, going in during the offseason, we had no idea that Jordan Meredith was going to be the starting center. We thought it was going to be JPJ penciled in there, but he's going to be JPJ is starting right guard, DJ Glaze is right tackle. We did pick up that offensive lineman after the Raiders cut at right tackle.
Theron Munford.
The swing tackle, Theron Munford. He struggled in the preseason. The Raiders kind of let him go, gave him his walking papers, and I guess it's a familiar face for Pete Carroll, Stone Forsythe.
Stone Forsythe.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing and seeing, it's not a real. I don't know if it's an upgrade. It might be a lateral move. It might be a guy that's just comfortable with. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Maybe the Raiders still continue to find. I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. All I gotta say is the Raiders gotta stay healthy when it comes to offensive line. They gotta stay healthy because the first guy off the bench is he makes me nervous. I think when we think about recent history as far as swing tackles, I think our best swing tackle, he's actually pretty solid, and end up competing with Glaze, not Glaze. I think he might be the starting right tackle for the Giants. I'm trying to think.
Illuminor,
yeah. He was our swing tackle for a minute.
Yeah,
he was our swing tackle for a minute. So this situation is completely different. This is a guy like I don't trust at all, man. Like if he comes into the game, like I'm not you know, from what it sounds like, he's had his struggles as well. I think this is just more of like a coaching staff being comfortable with his skill level and talent, and you know what I mean, and they're going to see what they can do to develop him. But I mean, what's your thoughts on Stone Forsythe?
Yeah, man, me and 805, we did a film study on Stone Forsythe.
Yeah.
And it is some of the worst tackle play I've ever seen in my life. It was embarrassing. Like I was embarrassed for him. It was like, it was just like stuff I've never seen happen in the NFL before. Like him get like turned completely around, him with like leg all in the air, getting like bullied and pushed. Like he was on roller skates out there, man. And what makes it worse is that not only, you know, first of all, he's not a swing tackle. He's just a right tackle. So not only are we having a guy that's not technically a swing tackle, he's just a right tackle. We cut Thayer Munford for him. I wanted to get rid of Thayer, but we signed somebody that's conceivably as bad or worse, that doesn't play as many positions and is more expensive. Like you can't make this up. You can't make up how bad that is. Like you signed somebody that is worse than the guy you had, more limited positionally and more expensive. It's like, my goodness.
Yeah. So I thought he had some versatility to him as far as playing left to both tackles, but you're saying only one tackle spot. That's tough. That's tough because at least Thayer, he had experience going on. He has experience playing guard, tackle, both tackle spots. So there's a little bit of versatility. He just struggled. There's no way around it. Like he struggled every time he was out there in preseason. So new regime, they're not gonna really have a lot of patience, and they went ahead and made that change. So, like I said, man, the offensive line got to stay healthy. Got to stay healthy.
Like Will Putnam looked bad. Alex Cappa looked bad. Caleb Rogers, he had his moments, but he struggled. Charles Grant, he had his moments too, but he struggled as well. So they're both young guys. So it's like if we get hurt at all on the offensive line, Yeah. As Fisher T would say, yeah.
Disgusting. Tight end, man, ain't no surprise here, man. Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and then you know, if you want to, let me move the depth chart here real quick. Ian Thomas, that third tight end, and there you go, man. That's there you have it. No surprises here. We gonna see. I think we're gonna see a heavy dose of 12 personnel, man, against the Patriots. Do you think Chip Kelly is gonna go under center? Is that his thing? Or is he just gonna strictly be in shotgun, pistol? Like, do you see him?
I think he will if the situation calls for it. I know we didn't do it at all in the preseason, which makes me think we will see some of it during the regular season.
Right. Yeah. Because they kept it vanilla. They don't want to show their hand going into week one, which is cool. I get that 100%. Jacoby, no surprises there. Amari Cooper is backing him up, and then we got Trey Tucker with the other spot, and then Jack Besh. Those are the receivers, which no surprises there, to be honest with you. And then Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett, Ashton Genty, Zamir White, and Raheem Mostert. So that battle's still going on. You know what I mean? But we'll see how that shakes out. But Zamir, man, he looked solid that last preseason game, man. I'm not gonna lie. So, and he got a coach that understands his skill set, and hopefully he can maximize it when it comes to him running the football. But yeah, man, I don't really see any surprises on offense. Let's go to the defense real quick. Defense. All right, starting pass rusher, DN, Max Crosby, no surprise there. Your guy, man, Thomas Booker. Thomas Booker is penciled in as a starter opposite Adam Butler, which is good.
Yeah.
That makes it kind of I want to say well worth it. We still got to see him be a productive player out there, but for him to come out as a starter, then that means that the Raiders traded a corner for a starting D tackle, and hopefully he can give us more value. But if he only, the only thing he can give you is run stopping ability, like he doesn't really give you any value, Pat, would you say that the Raiders lost that trade?
Yeah.
With the Eagles, since because the cover corner is way more valuable than
way more valuable than a run stopping defensive tackle.
So we got to keep an eye on this and see how he develops there. He's getting his first opportunity, to be honest with you, to play meaningful snaps because he was buried under the depth chart with the Eagles. But Thomas Booker is the starting D tackle opposite Adam Butler, which is going to be interesting to see. Tyree is going to be the first man off the bench. We all know him, and then he's going to obviously come in different, formation. That D line, what we've seen too randomly, like we've seen some weird D lines. We've seen like Adam Butler at defensive end. Tyree, goes inside, and it's like so. It's gonna be interesting to see what Patrick Graham has up his sleeve with this front four or this front seven. But I'm not gonna lie, linebackers scare me in coverage. It's just man, like if we play at a good passing team or a good quarterback, that got wet. Honestly, it just got to be a good quarterback. They don't even really have to have weapons because
I feel what you mean.
Man, it's tough out here, man. It is tough. It's
rough.
tough. We definitely have to get pressure. Raiders definitely have to get pressure. Like we have to. Like there's no way around it. In order for them to be at least like decent on defense, we got to be able to get after it. Stop the run, get after quarterback, and then just hopefully like. They can cover long enough. Hopefully, no one gets open right off the gate. You know what I mean? Right off the snap. Any surprises here from the defensive starters?
I mean the Booker one, because I mean the way they have it set up on a depth chart. I don't know how accurate this depth chart is because Jonah Laulu is more of like a 3-tech, so he's more like a pass rushing defensive tackle. He's not really good against the run. But they got him behind Thomas Booker and then Liki Fotu, who is more of like a, 1-2 down defensive tackle. They got him behind Adam Butler. So I don't know if they put it in order of platoons where like, hey, once Thomas Booker and Adam Butler come out, we're going to rotate both Laulu and Fotu in there at the same time or what it is, but that was kind of odd. And then Thomas Booker starter, is that like a face save where it's like, all right, we got to put him as a starter because it's like he had great motor, really good effort. I like what I saw from him in terms of that, but he offers you like basically nothing in terms of the pass rush. So. And Adam Butler is a pretty good run defender. He's a better pass rusher, but he's a pretty good run defender as well. So, I mean, I think the value would be having Jonah Laulu and Adam Butler both starting. But, obviously they decided to go with Booker. So, we'll see how it turns out.
Real quick, Mouth to be says Rasul Douglas, Asante Samuel, and DJ Reed. One of these guys have to still be available. So Rasul Douglas signed with the Miami Dolphins. Asante Samuel has a situation with his neck. He has this. I think they fused his neck, and they're gonna check back in sometime into the season. I'm not gonna lie, and he's undersized, and he's more strictly outside receiver. I mean, outside corner, and he's not a good tackle. Like it's like almost the same reasons. To be honest with you, that they traded away like Jacorian Bennett, who I feel like might be a way better option than Asante Samuel Jr. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't think that's going to be a good fit. DJ Reed, I'm not sure.
DJ Reed, I think he went to the Bills? Still the Bills? And he went to somebody. I want to say he went to the Bills. I think the only person up there that's available is Asante Samuel Jr. And as you said, that initially beforehand, the thought was that he'd be ready for week 1, but then he had to have that fused disc in his neck. Like, come on, bro. Come on, brother. Like, is that the guy you want to take a chance on? Like, you thought he didn't tackle before. Like, look at him with a fused disc in his neck. So I don't see that happening.
Shout out to East Coast. He went to the Lions? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, man, it's tough around this time. I mean, I think, to be honest with you, the Raiders, they had their opportunities, to be honest with you. They could have went. I mean, we talked about it last week. There were some guys available, especially guys like in the secondary, that we mentioned last week that were available. I think the guy from the Colts, I believe, was available. He ended up. The Dolphins were aggressive trying to upgrade their secondary room by signing Rasul Douglas, by picking up guys in the waivers. I feel like the Raiders kind of were a little bit like more selective, and for whatever reason they weren't as aggressive, because if they put in a
Forsyth.
Yeah, and it was crazy too. If they put in a bid for some of these guys, they would have had a great chance to get them, because they're like 6th in the waiver wire. So that advantage is kind of like now at this point gone by week 1. So I think it's restarted by then. Why no Jabril yet? Hey, good question. Oh yeah, we got to get into that, bro. Jabril. He recently gets released by the Patriots for whatever reason, because a lot of the Patriot fan base were completely shocked by the move. Like they didn't see why he was released. It's not like he played terribly. He was a good player for them for a few years now, and it was a big shock for him to get released out for whatever reason. I'm not 100% sure why, but they made the move right before the season started, which, I mean, the Raiders, it's almost like a perfect. You get a guy that played with the team right before this, that you're going to be playing at week 1.
Yeah,
and it's a position of kind of need. Like, it's a guy like this. You could upgrade the room. Add some experience.
Yeah. And because they did that with Thayer, like Thayer Munford signed to the Patriots practice squad. So to counter that, I would be, all right, well, go ahead and bring in Julius Peppers over here in our practice squad, and I'll see your move and I'll raise you. But it makes a lot of sense, but I don't see us doing it. I just don't see us doing it. Like maybe Julius Peppers celebrated after a sack, and Tom Brady was like, nah, can't have it, can't have it.
Yeah, Tom Brady and celebrations don't go together for some reason, but that's a whole different conversation we're gonna get into. Tom Brady did talk to he had like an interview with PFF with Chris Collinsworth. It's pretty good. Yeah. We'll definitely get into that in a little bit. We got some notable quotables, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, we'll keep an eye on right now. We feel like the Raiders could easily make that move, but the Raiders, they move real slow when it comes to moves. Like, they really take their time. They're not going to force anything, and it just feels like, from Spytek's perspective, he's all in on the youth movement. He wants to let it play out. He probably wants to see how it's going to play out with the guys that they already have. So, and it sounded like even Amari Cooper, that was more of a Pete Carroll, like, kind of like wanting that move to happen more so than Spytek. So maybe that's possibly why that the Raiders haven't picked up a guy like Jabril Peppers, because they want to see what they have first before even making a move. But hey, like, pick him up and gather some more information, and have a better chance of winning week 1. Like, how about that?
Exactly. And I think he offers us versatility, because a lot of the stuff that we're gonna have Jeremy Chin do, he's actually done in the Patrick Graham defense when he was with the Giants. So he's been that deep safety. He's been in the box safety. He's been a guy that played in the slot as well. He can return kicks too. Like he offers you a world of possibilities. So if you're looking for a guy with some versatility that's familiar with some of the people on his coaching staff, I think Jabril Peppers, he does that, and he has the added benefit of, he can give you a little bit of intel on what they're going to be doing defensively with the Patriots. So, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, but like I said, maybe he likes watches, and it's like, I don't know.
Look at Bill, man. Look, hey, Mumford signed with the Pats. So the Pats, do you see what they're doing?
Yeah.
They're gathering intel.
Fact.
they gave they gave him on for some change. Like, hey, look, what are the Raiders doing over there? So they're doing what they need to do in order to get some information from a player about the Raiders, some intel and all that good stuff. So we'll see. And I think there might be, you know what it is too. Spy Tech, he's all about like he's not a huge spender. So maybe that from a contract standpoint, it becomes completely different after week 1. You know what I mean? Signing a guy right before week 1 is completely different from signing a guy after week 1. There might be something to that, and maybe Spy Tech's like, he's a shrewd GM, so he probably was like, you know what? We can pick him up after week 1. It's not that big a deal,
Yeah.
Shout out to LS, man, with the super chat, my guy, man. Appreciate you supporting the show. He says, I've lost sleep since the Forsyth's film breakdown, man. I got to check that out, man. That's hilarious.
Nightmare fuel, bro. It is some of I watched when we picked him up, I was looking up stuff on them. Like, okay, let me see what this guy plays. Like, let me see what kind of player he is. It's an upgrade. And then one of the first videos I saw was just like him, like I was saying, like at the point in time he was starting, I think he was leading the league in like pressures allowed at like 34, 35. Damn. And the next closest person was at like 19. Damn. And this is like with just recently, because Geno Smith was a starting quarterback, and the dude that made the video was like, yo, man, like Geno Smith is a miracle worker. For him to be doing what he's doing with the Seattle Seahawks, with Stone Forsythe as his right tackle, as like, it's nothing short of incredible, basically. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. I got a good friend of mine is a 49er fan. He talks about Geno like, hey, when he gets pressure, he gets thrown. But that's like every quarterback, man. Like, if you pressure a quarterback, they're not going to look their best. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing, too, just to keep it on a positive note with Geno Smith. Man, Geno Smith, I don't know. I'm probably going to have, like, quarterback goggles with Geno Smith just because, like, meaning that, like, the last few years, you already know what it is, man. Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, DJ, man, and so many other quarterbacks, man, that got some starts the last few years. Jimmy G,
Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder. It's just like and all of it's been consistently bad. So Geno Smith is gonna be a breath of fresh air, man. That's what it feels like. It's gonna be a perfect situation with Chip Kelly and Geno, his accuracy. Talking and shout out to Marcus. Definitely check out Around the Shield last week. We had a good conversation with him, and he was saying some stuff that was interesting. That he thinks that the Amari signing kind of signals that the Raiders are going to be passing maybe right out the gate a little bit more, maybe to set up the run, which is kind of interesting. You know what I mean? I would think that you bring in you draft Geno like at number 6, you're going to try to take pressure off of the quarterback and the offensive line by running the football right out of the gate, but we'll see. And if the Raiders come out passing, I think that speaks a lot to Geno, man, and what they believe in him as a quarterback. So that's a guy that I'm like looking forward to watch every Sunday is Geno Smith this year. Which is crazy to say. A few years ago, man, I like Geno Smith was a running joke, but hey, man, that tells you how just how he was able to turn around his career is crazy.
Nah, facts.
Byron in the building, man. Appreciate you pulling up. My guy was popping. He says, we get hurt on the O-line. If it put me. Oh, man. If it came down to it, you might be better than Forsythe. Yeah,
exactly.
We might as well.
It might be an upgrade. Might be an upgrade.
We might as well, man. For sure. Kevin says, gonna unleash all those secret plays we didn't run. Facts. Yeah. You think that Chip Kelly's gonna be all types of like trick plays, and is he gonna be that? Like, that's what I hated. This is not about Chip Kelly, but that's what you know what it makes me think about when I think about trick plays. Remember Josh McDaniels used to do that? He used to just do random trick plays instead of just running the ball. Like it's like you need 1 yard, like, and he's over here trying to do like something. When you do stuff like that, that's like a message to the other team. Like, nah, if you play a physical team, that shit it's not gonna fly, bro.
Yeah,
it's not gonna fly. But
I don't think we'll do trick plays, but I think there's like certain like movement and stuff like that, certain disguises and stuff, and certain like like different angles we'll use, or different players in certain positions and ghost motions and stuff like that that we haven't really revealed yet in preseason. So that once the regular season starts and the games actually count, that we'll bust out, pause if necessary, but we'll use that. We'll use those, and I think there's like a lot of plays you'll see like there are plays, and there's like plays with built-in counters. So like we'll lay a trap 1 week, and then we'll have a counter ready and waiting for if somebody gets over aggressive, on a handoff, and then Gino will bootleg, and we'll have a guy on a crosser and hit, like Brock, for example, hit him for a big game. Like I think there's a lot of stuff like that we weren't really showing in preseason.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. I can't wait to see how this Chip Kelly offense looks like. What is this version of Chip Kelly going to look like this time around? Because it's going to be completely different from how he kind of like was back when he was the head coach of the Eagles back in the day, where he kind of came in there running and gunning and trying to play in a fast pace, and like it was a completely different way that Chip Kelly was going at it. But he was able to evolve and adapt. And I think with him doing that, it kind of fits with the personnel that we have too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I said, heavy dose of 12 personnel, Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers, and obviously Kobe, and maybe sprinkle in some of those rookies. Hopefully they can step up. We'll see. But Genty especially, I'm looking forward to seeing him play week 1. 707 says, love Coop as a back-end wide receiver, can play all over the field. I like him as a backup slot in his old age. Yeah, man. According to Marcus, man, and we, obviously Severe's talked about it too, man. He's had questions about Amari. I kind of was like, we need a veteran in this place, but I didn't know it was to this bad. Like, I'm talking about, like, Marcus was saying, like, man, the man lost speed. Like, he got the releases. He can beat you off the line, but then as soon as he takes few steps, the cornerback is right there with him, so everything is like a tough catch. But if he's in the slot, he's gonna be good. But the thing is, though, it's like we already have like a lot of these slot guys, man. So
left or right?
Yeah, man. And just stay tuned for flag on a play, man. We got a clip that we're gonna play, man. It's a little bit concerning, just a little bit. We gonna get into it, man. We gonna get into it. Salute, everybody pulling up. Man, just you can't wait. Yeah, man, for sure. Oh, we got Myra in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. Booker starting. Bennett's back up for the Eagles. Oh, I thought Bennett was backing up. I thought Bennett was starting. Lost to Dory Jackson. Yeah, I think Bennett, but also I think like Bennett came there like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying, at corner. Like,
so did Booker. But Dory stays hurt though, so Dory stays hurt. So we'll see. Yeah. Bennett will be starting to, but Bennett stays hurt too though. So hey, it's kind of way.
That's interesting. I wonder. Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I could have sworn that they had him starting for the Eagles. They must have changed that up. Pratt will be good in coverage. We'll see if he could just be decent, man.
I think he's solid, but
it's just Devin White and I know Landon Roberts. Landon Roberts is like, whew. But against the run though, whew, he get the job done.
He's dog, yeah.
Well, and then and Devin White starting is crazy. I think that's the one that's kind of like interesting, man. He better ball out this year, man. He's starting. This is gonna be his last chance, man. Last chance.
Yeah, it is.
Vic in the building says, I'm not sold on this depth chart at all. D-tackle scares me. Cornerback safety concern. Even the linebackers, I don't know, man. Lifelong fan, but I hope our offense score a lot because it's defense. Yeah, man, it's depth, talent. It is what it is. The Raiders kind of went all in on offense this offseason. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, you can't address all your weaknesses all in one offseason. So that's why we kind of were like, you know, looking at everything. We're like, you know what? 2026 is probably going to be the year. Because if they can have a solid offseason this year, then they kind of like combine it with another good offseason next year. Then 2026, I feel like they can go into it with, you know, a possibility of like, you know, competing for a playoff spot. But we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. Man, we appreciate everybody pulling. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. But yeah, man, you know what was random? This last minute, we forgot to mention. They signed your favorite quarterback to the practice squad.
What? They brought in my guy Nathan Peterman?
Nah, your other favorite quarterback, Jeff Driscoll.
Oh my God, Jeff Driscoll. Oh my goodness. Well, that's Super Bowl. Super Bowl bound, baby.
What are we doing? What are we doing signing Jeff Driscoll? Maybe this might be a sign that that Kenny Pickett is not all the way back. Because he had a hamstring injury. They traded for an injured player. Because he had a hamstring injury with the Browns, which essentially, you know, some of the Browns, you know, media said like, hey, if he was healthy, he probably would have competed for that top spot. Or at least maybe took that top spot from Flacco. But, you know, it is what it is. And maybe that's what that means. I'm trying to make sense of it, like, because when you sign Jeff Driscoll and if Kenny Pickett's good to go, what does that mean for Cam Miller? Like, the other side to it is like Cam Miller's days, or what are they numbered? I mean, like they already cut a former 6th round pick who's currently with another team. He ended up signing, I believe he signed with the Saints.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen that, but
yes.
What are your thoughts, man, on the move, man?
It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. There are like other people who I think are better players and also younger. Like Jeff Driscoll is like 30 something, you know, so I think there are guys that are better and younger that we could have brought on and put on our practice squad, you know, but we elect to go with this like older journeyman quarterback that what is he there? Like, what is he there for? Like, what is he really there for? Like, he's not really a developmental guy, hasn't been in this offense, so not like he's going to be there to like teach the young guy, like with like, you know, the ins and outs of this offense. And if you need a vet quarterback, like we've already seen, Geno Smith has kind of stepped up in that role to kind of help, you know, mentor Cam as much as he can. So it's like, I don't get it. I don't get it, you know, but I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to figure out like what lane I could take for this to make him, because he's not a good player. He was like he's older. He hasn't been around the team. Like there's like literally like you got to go down the check box and like he literally checks none of the boxes.
I think, you know what? I think it says a lot about Cam Miller. Like, they don't want him out there, like at all costs. And Kenny Pickett is probably not all the way back. He's not 100% back. So they wanted to make sure they had a guy, a veteran that they can trust a little bit more than a young guy like Cam Miller, who, like you mentioned, is, you know, coming from the FCS. You know, it's a big jump from that to coming to the NFL, and like, you know, so at least they understand that, and they didn't cut him just like they did Tommy Mellott, which is, you know, is a whole different conversation for another day. Well, we actually had a conversation, man. Check that out on Around the Shield, man. Man, the Raiders, man, that was an interest. That's gonna be something that we're gonna hopefully we'll remember, but it won't be like a huge stain where we have to keep bringing it up. Like, man, look at all the bad moves that this franchise did. But, you know, it is what it is. It didn't work out. It's a 6th round pick, but it's still kind of interesting that they cut a guy after 1 year, and it didn't even add him to the practice squad, especially when you knew that it was a project player. But that's neither here or there, man. Nah, man, we're not. We got some time. We got some time. But Super Omicron says, I think I showed this earlier. Alexander unproven. Kobe Bryant is on Falcons practice squad. Okay, I think this is from earlier when we were talking about guys that were available. Shout out to AJ. He posted Kobe Bryant was available. Alexander, Juju Brents. Yeah. Look, all I'm saying, like, these guys were available for them to pick up, and I'm not saying that they would come in and start right away. It's like you add young talent to a team that, you know, needs talent. Like, let the best players, like, rise, you know, get to the top, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. Like, so I just think the Raiders it's the way they've been addressing the secondary. It's almost like it's like very arrogant. Like they're just relying supremely on, like, oh, I can coach him up. I can coach him up. That's pretty much what they're doing. Cool Kev says Peppers is not a Vrabel guy. What you about to say, Severe?
I would say is they kind of remind you of there's a point in time. Now, we haven't heard Pete Carroll say this, but I think at one point in his career, Josh McDaniels said he can take like a high school quarterback and make him like a Pro Bowler in the NFL. So, like, that's the kind of, like, it feels like almost that level of arrogance where we can just take any person and, you know, hey, we can turn them into a NFL caliber starter. And, you know, we'll see. Like, if Pete Carroll has had a track record of, hey, guys on the Seahawks, they play well for them and they go somewhere else, and they don't play well, and guys that were other places play well on the Seahawks, and then they leave, and then, you know, they're not the same person anymore. So we'll see. You know, maybe there is some rhyme to his reason right now, but on paper, it's looking atrocious.
Yeah, and the thing is too, it's like, man, like I think Patrick Graham is a good coach. I think he's a good coach, man. Like, because he hasn't had a lot of talent to work with. He's literally just Max Crosby. You know, Kuntz maybe, you know, if he can get back to his old self. Adam Butler, you know what I mean? It's kind of guys on the D-line, but everywhere else it's like patchwork. It's like he has to figure out a way to make it work. And then last couple seasons we had guys that kind of were stepping up. We just don't know who's going to step up on this defense outside of the defensive line, which also has question marks if you want to argue that too as well. But when we look at the secondary, it's bigger, linebacker, bigger, obviously, and we talked about coverage wise. You know, if we play a good quarterback, which there's a couple of them in this division, there's a few of them in this division, and there's a few of them in the AFC. Yeah,
quite a few of them in the AFC. Yeah, that's like all of them, all of them, damn near.
We can get exposed. For sure. Old Raiders, man. Shout out to everybody pulling up. I'm trying to catch up with the chat, man. The chat is going crazy, man. Dre Raider in the building, man, says, looking at this roster on paper, it's shaky, man. We're banking a lot on young potential and veteran resurgence play, but we'll see how it shapes up right now. How it shapes up, Raider Nation for life. Hey, man, appreciate you pulling up.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. It's just like I said earlier, man. They're not going to be able to like address every need this offseason. That's why my expectations is not really high. What I want to see is I want to see how this offense looks like. I want to see some of these young players take the next step to see if they can develop, and then, you know, build off that. That's pretty much it. I don't really have super high expectations. If they do anything more than that, that'd be crazy. But for anybody to go into the season thinking that the Raiders are going to go to the playoffs guaranteed or win a division or, you know, make all these crazy proclamations, like, that'd be cool. That's wild, man. That's wild. Based off the talent. We just seen the depth chart. It's like, oh man, I don't know.
Yes, yeah.
Not a question. Even on offense, like you just mentioned, you talked about depth, man. Shout out to Dre. He talked about depth. Like, if the offensive line, any of those guys get hurt, it's almost like it's gonna be a struggle. And the NFL is all about players getting hurt too. At the end of the day, so it is what it is.
Exactly. So it's a war of attrition, and what makes it extra concerning. I won't say extra concern, but what does add an added level of concern is that we had 4 picks in the first 3 rounds, and only one of them is a surefire starter. So it's like, that's like, on a team like you think you would like to be addressing needs, immediate needs, and like I said, you had those first 4 round picks. You did a lot of maneuvering, especially in the second round. Probably missed out on some blue chip players that definitely would have been starters for you. Like a Will Johnson is a guy who we missed because we traded back. I think they were targeting Jaden Higgins, but he got selected right before us. So like we missed out on some good players, and we selected a guy that that was so questionable or so shaky that we had to go out and sign Amari Cooper, to kind of add another receiver to that room because maybe we don't feel we can depend on this guy. So like you would hope you would be addressing more immediate needs, especially in the first 3 rounds of the draft.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, shout out to LS. He says, I'm calling it early. This is a gentleman's tank year. I can't look at this defense and think wins. This is banana in a tailpipe. They're not trying to lose, but they won't be shocked if they do. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know earlier. I think Ellis, did you say how many wins and losses the Raiders are gonna have this year? I don't know if you said it earlier, but put it in the chat. But yeah. I mean, the way I'll say the way Spytek is going with it. He wants the young guys. He wants the young guys out there. He doesn't want to sign veterans. He doesn't want to that's why I wouldn't be surprised if Raiders don't sign Jabril Peppers.
Yeah. It makes too much sense.
It's just like they want to see the young guys play, develop, and then they can make a decision on them and make an upgrade when it's time at the end of the season. But as far as adding veterans, it's kind of like the more I think about it, the more I'm like I thought about it initially, I'm like, oh, this is a good fit, this is perfect. But then it's like as time goes on, you're like, yeah, Spytek ain't going. I mean, that's the way he's addressed the entire offseason. Like he's literally the Amari Cooper. That was interesting. That Amari Cooper getting signed. That was like interesting that there was literally back and forth with signing Amari Cooper. And to be honest with you, I think the only reason why Spytek probably gave in to Pete Carroll is the Jacoby Myers situation. Yeah. Just in case he held out. Let's see here.
Yeah, it's rough. It is rough.
Armando says Geno Smith will become the next great quarterback comeback story for the silver and black. Yeah, we'll see.
There we go, Armando.
Hey, man.
And inject a little bit of hope.
Positivity, you know what I mean? And like I said, hey, look, at the end of the day, JR trying to start this conversation here. Marquise Houston is the most overrated. JR, man.
You're the same one that we try to.
He always trying to start something. He's always trying to start something.
Oh man,
that's funny.
Yeah, the Raiders are like, start Joe. We can't sign you. You gave Jeff Driscoll your money.
Bro, if they hit on, and imagine if they hit on this play too, because I know what you're saying. Great. You're saying just to scare the defense, just to keep put it in the defense mind. But imagine if they hit on the play though. Whew.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Man, play the game for sure. I mean, I know Raider fans are gonna go crazy. They're gonna be like, oh my God, Dante Thornton is Randy Moss. The next Randy Moss.
That's right,
bro. And they keep doing stuff like this. I'm like, they need to calm down. But they keep anointing guys that hey, you gotta chill, bro. Let him develop, man. Let him give him time, man.
I mean, they told me Trey Tucker was the next Tyreek Hill. I'm still waiting on that.
Oh, you know what's interesting? We're gonna play a notable quotable, but from that same podcast, they said that Trey Tucker was the fastest player in the NFL. Like he was they are clocking players, and then they said that the average speed for like they said certain players, and they said Trey Tucker had the highest average speed, which is like I don't know. I'm thinking it's because maybe he's running a lot of deep routes.
That's part of it, probably. Yeah, that's part of it. Because
So
they didn't have a whole bunch of touches. Like he didn't have a whole bunch of touches. But he is like running a lot of deep routes. And you think about some of the better players, like when you're that fast, they're gonna try to get hands on you. So, and a lot of guys, they just understand like, okay, I don't need to run my fastest right here. I'm gonna throttle down. Like part of being able to run good routes is like you adjust speed and tempo. So like that's part of it. That's part of the deception. So, that could be saying like that could be a negative thing for Trey Tucker.
Yeah. But I want to, you know what? And that's the guy that I said like is gonna have like a big year. But he has to go out there and do it. I'm not gonna act like and annoy him and say like, oh, Trey Tucker he's one of the best players at his position. No, I'm not gonna do all that. I'm gonna cautiously say like he's gonna have a breakout year.
I hope so.
Yeah, based off like what we've heard in training camp, and then Chip Kelly, if he's a good offensive coordinator, like I said, all these role players are going to be even better. So hopefully it happens for Trey Tucker. Let's see, man. I'm hoping the D-line is a bit more disruptive with leaner, quicker guys like Booker, Tyree, Malcolm. Yeah, who's buried in the depth chart that's why I'm kind of like. It's kind of interesting. They're going to really take their time with him is, J.J. Pegues and Tonka Hemingway. They're like buried in the depth chart, but I'm sure it's going to be like a rotation. They're going to get some snaps. They're probably going to earn snaps as the season goes along, but like they're going to get some touches for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah. Salute. Everybody pulling up, man. Shout out to my guy Raider Smoke. Inching closer to the season, fellas. This is precisely the time I get my hopes up. And 3 games in, I physically feel like I got kicked in the nuts, man. Damn, man. Hey, man. Hopefully not, man. Hopefully it doesn't happen. It's funny. According to Tom Brady, he kind of played it out. He says 5 games. 5 games in the season. He said right before Thanksgiving. That's when teams either go up, they go either in the upward trajectory, like getting better as the season goes along, or they get worse. And usually that time is the time where like the fan bases go crazy. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Like he was saying like players will give up by Thanksgiving if they feel like So it's going to be interesting to see that first 4 or 5 games. That's the first quarter of the season, basically. It's going to be interesting to see how this team develops as this time goes along because it is a young team, but then they got a veteran coach, Pete Carroll. So he's going to want to win. Pete Carroll's going to want to win. So it's going to be interesting to see how they start the season and if they get better. Because Tom Brady, he's on record, like, and I wish I had that specific clip. I don't know if I sent it to you, but he was like, man, by that fifth game or around, right before Thanksgiving is where like teams either go in one direction, upwards, or they'll go like backwards because they pretty much, it's a wrap, man. They give up. I don't know if you've seen that interview. Yeah. This is a completely different interview, but like, it made me think about it real quick was Johnny Manziel and who was the wide? Braylon Edwards. Like they had a recent podcast and they were like, man, like when it was bad, like losing a lot of games, they would like party literally the entire season. They would do what they needed to do, like show up to practice and all whatever, but like literally as soon as practice ended, they would be flying out of town and doing all types of crazy stuff. It's wild, man. Hopefully it doesn't come down to it for the Raiders, but that first those first 4 or 5 games are going to be crucial.
Oh yeah, but I mean, part of me feels maybe he actually feels that way. Part of me feels it's like, hey, you know what? Let's try to at least get five games worth of money out these suckers, and then we can. I don't care what you guys do, So it's like let's try let's string this kind along a little bit longer than before we found out that we had no intentions of winning this year. Like it feels like one of those situations where it's like, you know what, you won't know fully whether or not a team is bad, but you'll have an idea. Like you'll have an idea, like this team ain't going nowhere. This team ain't going nowhere, and it's not necessarily just the wins and losses; it's the product on the field. So you can go 1-1, you can go 0-2, and still be like, you know what? Hey, we're a good team. We're a couple bounces away. But if you're just not a good team, that's going to be apparent.
Yeah. Actually, I was gonna say something. I'll say it for flag on the play, man. But hey, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. My guy Smoke, man. Once again, man, appreciate the super chat as well as everybody sending super chats. LS, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you supporting the show. Man, it's that time, man.
Yes, sir.
It is that time, man. It's flag on the play.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business. He played it down.
All right. It's flag on the play, man. This week we got a few things that we want to talk about. Obviously, if you're new to the show, flag on the play is anything we have an issue with, problem with, that we got to call it like we see it, man. We got to call it out. What's the first one we got, Severe?
So the first one we got is everybody knows that the Raiders recently signed receiver Amari Cooper to the team, reuniting him with the team that originally drafted him. But what people didn't know is that Amari Cooper is with child. So congratulations, Amari.
That's hilarious.
That was Amari. We got some footage of Amari Cooper at Raiders practice, and yeah, man, it's the tape says it all.
All right, here we go. All right, let's see. All right, boom. He doesn't look as, you can tell he's a little older, man. He's a little bigger. Man. Shout out, like I said, to Marcus, man. He was, watching the film. He was breaking down the film. He was talking about it, and he was still letting us know, like, he doesn't look as fast. He's not as fast as he used to be. Yeah. And usually, like, when players, when they lose a step, they'll get leaner.
Yeah.
In order to get some of that quickness back, to get that, get that speed back. Yeah. But Amari's been eating good. He's been eating good, man. I hope it works out, man. I hope it works out, but it's just, I got my doubts, and I know I've been like I was one of those guys. I was like, we need to get Amari Cooper in the building. Just look at our receiver core. There's a lot of inexperience outside of, like, the notable guys like Jacoby Myers and maybe Trey Tucker, but even him, he's questionable. So I was like, let's get a veteran like Amari Cooper who's been there, done that. But man, seeing him like this is like, I'm just hoping that he can, like, contribute in some way. There's not gonna be a lot of pressure on him to be the number one guy, but yeah. I mean, do you see him being a factor? Like, do you see him being a guy, like, contributing to this offense?
Before this, I would have said yeah, but obviously he hasn't been on a team, so he hasn't gone through many camps and OTAs and training camp. But you would hope that you're a veteran who's been in the NFL for a long time, that you would know, hey, know what, I have to take care of my body in the off season, especially in a season after coming off one of your worst seasons. Like, you'd be like, okay, I'm doing everything I can to make sure I'm ready to perform at a high level. And he looks out of shape. He looks slow. It's It's all bad, man. Hopefully he can play himself into shape. I guess that's at the point we're at right now, where he can play himself into shape and still be a factor. But that did not inspire a lot of confidence.
And that's another thing I brought up too when I was saying that the Raiders, as of right now, have the worst receiving, or one of the worst as of right now. And one of the things is that I question Amari Cooper, because it's probably going to take him a little bit for him to be an effective player in this offense, because he literally just got signed. While everybody else got their timing down with Geno Smith, and they know the offense inside and out, and they had an entire training camp, a whole off season. Amari Cooper doesn't have that, so that's going to take time. That might take the first quarter of the season for him to get down. He might come in a few snaps here and there, and look at how the Raiders treated it. Who's the starter on the outside? Is it Amari Cooper? No.
Yeah,
Dante, all the familiar faces, So, we'll see. We'll see what shakes out. But like when I seen that clip, that was like, man, this is Deebo Samuel 2.0. It's just, man. And then, I just remember, Marcus talking about it. I was like, man, like he lost his speed. I'm like looking at this clip, man. Real quick, man, let me just address this. Hey, man, Coach, my guy, man, appreciate the super chat. He says, why y'all trying to act like this team is not cheeks? They're terrible.
Oh, man.
We're trying to keep it positive a little. I mean, at least I am. I'm trying to keep it a little bit positive. But week one, heading into the season, there's a lot of like unknown factor going into week one. Technically it is a winnable game.
Yeah.
It's not like we're playing a Patriots team that is like one of the best teams in the NFL. They're a young team. They got their strengths and weaknesses, and the Raiders could easily go in there and win, but we'll see. We'll see, man. So we're just for me, I'll just speak for myself. I want to see a good football game and come out with a W week one. But you as coach, you already know, man. I literally was like, hey, this team is probably gonna be like 7-10. You know what I mean? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll be happily wrong. I'll be, as far as if they won more games, I'll be the first one to admit it. But yeah, man. Hey, look. Hey, if you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Smoke says they said the same thing with Darren Porter, saying he was the next 90 coming out of camp.
Yeah, man. These comparisons be out of hand. Like, I think I sent you the clip after Dante Thornton had the touchdown against the Cardinals in preseason, and people was like, "Oh man, they mess around and let us get Calvin Johnson." I'm like, what? Like what? like what?
It's just
like, let these guys be their own. First of all, let them be their own people. And at least compare him to somebody like they play similar to. Like Dante Thornton plays nothing like Calvin Johnson.
It's one thing to be optimistic about a player, hey, there might be something here, but it's another thing to be like, oh yeah, he's one of the best receivers. Like, look, he's 6'5", 4'3". Like, yeah, this is a great receiving core. Oh, because he's 6'5" and got 4'3" speed. Like, come on, man. Like, he got to run routes. He got to learn how to get the timing down with Geno Smith. Like, he got to learn how to get off press. He got to get used to playing NFL defenses. Shit. And guess what? Guess what defense coordinators are going to do? They're going to game plan against him. Once he puts stuff on tape that he got speed, they're going to be like, oh, okay. So he's going to have to adjust to that. So that's part of just, them learning. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just going to take time. But I don't think like people take that into account when they automatic, oh yeah, he's gonna be the next Calvin Johnson or whatever as far as Dante Thornton. But it is what it is. Alfredo says Jimmy G the next Jim Plunkett. Who said that, man? Who said that? They was on crack. What the hell, man? That's crazy. That's crazy. 8. You said 8-9. 8-9. Okay. I mean,
I take that. I'd be happy. Go 8-9. I'm cool.
First year? Whew. Man,
I'm happy.
My expectations for the second year would be crazy if we went 8-9 this year.
Yeah,
especially
because you go 8-9 with this roster.
Yeah. You trying to be funny? Marquise was not that bad as Roger on Sister Sister. Got to go with the Marion. You talking about terrible actors? Oh man, we can get in terrible actors.
Yeah,
that's a whole different conversation. You know, I can go in on that one, but Subaru Kansas, I do think throwing deep on a fade would set the tone. Either that or tempo to start the drive. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that's their game. They're gonna incorporate that in their game plan. I think that's his role. His role is gonna be a deep threat. Right off the bat, like he's gonna be a deep threat. He can do that, or you know what I mean. And he's a good blocker too. So run your deep routes and block your ass off.
Exactly.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they've been trying to force it in practice. What the beat writers have been saying, like they've been trying to force that connection between him and Geno on those deep routes. So hopefully, you know, all that time on task, hopefully that pays off.
Yeah. Oh man, I seen it. Shout out to Marcus again, man. He posted this. I seen this, and it was pretty much the Raiders. This is the next flag. The Raiders didn't send out a scout to that South Carolina game. And I'm like, and the teams that were there, like there was like damn near like the entire NFL was there.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the Raiders weren't out there. Flag on a play on the Raiders. Like, what are we doing? Especially, you know, they're acting like they got a young QB. And he's the franchise quarterback. That's still in question. Like, if anything, like, you know, Geno right now, we can safely say is a bridge quarterback. You know what I mean? Until he proves otherwise, until he proves that he's better than that. Yeah. And if he's that, he's that. But at the same time, he's like, what, 34, 35 years old? I mean, in my opinion, the Raiders, they need a young QB to develop. And I'm not going to put all my money on Cam Miller. So
you don't have to, man. We got Jeff Driscoll.
Oh man, I forgot about him. My bad. I forgot about him. But I'm just like, why are they not sending anybody out to the South Carolina game where they could be evaluating the quarterback position, the talent that's going to be at that game? You know, some people might say, oh, that's not a big deal, but like, man, all these teams that are like, I'm going to go ahead and like, let me see if I can pull this up here. And I can show you like how many teams like pulled up to that game. Let's see. Boom. All right, so 23 NFL teams that are in attendance for the South Carolina Virginia Tech game. Arizona, Atlanta. Go ahead and show this, man. Y'all see this? Let's see. Well, look. Arizona, Atlanta, Buffalo, Carolina, Cleveland, Dallas, Denver. Denver already drafted their quarterback, it seems like, of the future. But they're still at the game because there's plenty of talent that's probably there. You know what I mean? Or they got to evaluate the quarterback position. Yeah. Detroit, Green Bay, Houston, Indy, Kansas City, the Chargers, the Rams, Miami, Minnesota, the Giants, the Jets, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Seattle, San Francisco, Tampa Bay were all at that game. Why were the Raiders not there, man? That's flag on the play, man. That's just
it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Even if you don't plan on drafting them, he could go to a team that, you know, in conference. So you still want to have that intel on them. You still want to have, you know, like some live view of them. And it could be a situation where, hey, something goes horribly wrong and Geno Smith is hurt and you're in position to draft him. And then at that point, you have to make a decision. Hey, you know what? Do I draft this guy or do I trade this selection for a haul of picks and let another team draft this guy? And at that point, how informed is your decision if you haven't been doing the homework requisite of making that particular choice, right? Like if you haven't been doing your studying and going to these games and meeting them in person, doing everything you need to do to know the kind of person he is in, outside the football field, and see what he does on the football field. So it's just that, it's only one game, but that's just like indicative of, hey, like we're not as locked in or dialed in as we should be.
Yeah, and it's man, I don't know, man. I don't want to be super negative about it, but I just didn't like that, and I got to call it like I see it. It's definitely a flag on a play. Super Omicron, real quick, I want to address this. He says first 5 games usually Raiders are 2-3, usually 2-3, but what Brady didn't mention was that Patriots usually start slow, which is true. This is true. I'm not gonna disagree on that, but I guess I should have articulated a little bit better, because I'm paraphrasing from that interview. But what he actually was saying, it's really not about the wins and losses when it comes to when you get to that November Thanksgiving. It's really about how good the coaches are, how they coaching technique, how good their processes are, and then for the team to consistently stay with it. And the teams that like get better are the teams that like literally have good processes. They stick with all of that, and they get better as the season goes along. And the teams that don't, they go the other direction, and they call it they obviously call it a season. I'm paraphrasing. I don't have the clip in front of me, but it made a whole lot of sense the way Brady was breaking it down. Obviously, he's won seven Super Bowls, so he knows all about winning and how it looks like and what it takes to get to that point, especially because he did it with 2 different teams. He did it with the Patriots, and he was able to go to Tampa Bay, and if you remember Tampa Bay right off the gate, they weren't as crisp. Tom Brady in the offense was crisp, but eventually they got it right, and the rest is history. They end up going to the Super Bowl, and then even though the other years they went to the playoffs, but he wasn't necessarily talking about wins and losses. He was talking about more so how the team was structured as far as the coaching, their processes, and then them consistently doing the same thing over and over again, no matter the outcome, because the wins and losses, from his point of view, they were going to come because they're going to get better. And certain teams, by like he said Thanksgiving, he said certain teams either keep going and they get better, and they get better, and then certain teams don't. Yeah. When we see it all the time. So, but we'll see. And I feel like that's an interesting comment, and it should have been a notable quotable. I wish I clipped it, but I think him saying that comment, it's going to be interesting to see this team, because he obviously has that logic, and I'm sure he's going to be watching it. He's going to be watching the Raiders closely, because he's a minority owner, and we all know that he's like tapped into in that Raiders building. It's going to be interesting to see how the Raiders develop, and do they take that next step? Do they get better? Do some of the young players get better? Do they get because that's what did everybody talk about and say about Pete Carroll and what he's going to bring to the Raiders? Culture, right?
Yeah.
So, and he's a guy that's a veteran coach. He knows how to win. So I'm going to be curious to see how this team develops as the time goes on. I'm not really tripping off like how many wins they get per se, which is crazy to say. I know that, but I've watched enough of this team where I'm like, you know what? I just want us to win long term. Like, I really don't want us to be like that 1 year, one and done, because we've seen that. We've seen that in the past where that we had like that Cinderella story with Bisaccia. Next year we come back because we blew it up and then lose. There's so many examples. That 2016 year, we go to the playoffs. That following year, 2017, a lot of those close games caught up with us. The rest is history. We weren't first in turnovers like we did the year prior. So I want this team to win long term. So whatever it takes to get to that point, that's what I want to get to. But that was the main point that I was trying to convey to you, man. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Do we got another flag on the play?
Yeah, we do tennis match. Hat.
The tennis match?
The hat situation.
Oh, yeah, the hat situation. Oh, man, this is disgusting. Whew. This might be the worst.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all bad, but like this
They're
is
all
like,
bad,
come on,
man.
bro. Like,
yeah, this ain't exactly Raider related, but this is like the worst.
this is not Raider related. This is at like a tennis event, and it's like fans are trying to get an autograph, including a young kid and a grown man. Like, just thought it was the right idea to go ahead and just do this, man. Like, and the way he did it, it was like he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Let me see. Let me take it back real quick. Because it's kind of too wide. All right, let's try this way. The way he snatched it too. Let's see. All right, can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. So you can see tennis player. He's signing autographs. You see the kid. You see the kid right there, and you see this.
Yeah.
You see this grown man right here, just also trying to get an autograph as well. It looks like. And let me go ahead and just play it out right here. Just let me know what you guys see.
Yo, that is cold.
And he put it in the bag too. And she acting like nothing happened. She
And he's like trying to tell the kid. Like, he's trying to tell the guy. Trying to tell the guy like, hey, yeah, that is.
He's like, no.
That is.
And this kid right there seen the whole damn thing, right? Like, flag on the play on this grown man, man. What are you doing, you scumbag? Like, what are you? And he's smiling too. He's that's wild.
Yo, this is, and the guy's a billionaire. So the dude's a billionaire.
Oh, he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. Damn.
So he can like literally just like pay for an event to have the tennis player come to and get all the hats he needs. Like,
bruh.
Yeah, this is wild, man. Bro. That is, yeah.
Come on, man. Flag on the play. Polish. Well, he's not a billionaire. It said millionaire. Polish millionaire CEO and businessman was exposed after grabbing a tennis star's hat that was being given to a child. Man, like he did not care at all. But yeah, flag on the play on this Polish millionaire, man. What's going on, man? What would make you want to take something from a little kid and snatch him from his hand? Because I'm sure, you know what, if the dad was there, I think he would have caught some hands.
Oh,
easy.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like he like literally snatched like, yeah. Like literally the guy, only reason the guy took the hat off was to give to the kid. He's like, got him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That is the economy in America in a nutshell. like we're gonna do this for everybody in the country, and the billionaire's like, thank you. Like, I'll take that. So I mean, that's wild though. And it's like a little kid too. That's what makes it so bad. Bro,
yeah, that shit was terrible, man. But it is what it is, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, I'm trying to catch up with the chat, man. Justin Herbert says Raiders suck. Oh, yeah, you suck too. You suck too. All right. Raiders Smoke 89 says you don't look bad. Y'all gotta chill. He don't look that bad. Y'all gotta chill.
I talking about Amari.
Oh, you talking about Amari? I don't know.
That's because I don't think the video here does it justice. I don't think you gotta go to X and look at it. It looks wild, man. It looks wild.
Yeah, I don't know. And the thing is too, we had like Tape Don't Lie over here talking about like how slow he looked last year. You know what I mean? And I was like, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
and he looked. And the thing is too, I guess because I'm used to Amari looking a certain way too, because it's like 10 years ago. 10 years has passed.
Yeah.
Like he had like, so he's probably not gonna have the same like body type from when he first came into the league. Like he's a lot leaner, but still like, man. I would think like, look, I would think that the value of Amari Cooper would have been good if he could play that outside. He could play on the outside. So if he can't play on the outside, then it's like another slot guy. So that means, is that an indictment on Besh more than Thornton?
Yo, yeah, I think it's more on Besh. But they got Besh playing outside, so I don't know. They're saying it doesn't make no sense because Jack Besh, in my opinion, he can't play outside either. But I just think that like they don't have any people, so they're like, well, damn, Jack, you're outside. Like we could throw you out there. So it's I don't know. It's just not a great look, man. And Amari just out here looking like you know how it's bad when like Amari's like his highlight from Buffalo was him like basically getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage and then lateraling the ball to Josh Allen. Like that's his highlight in Buffalo. Lateraling the ball to Josh Allen for Josh Allen to run in for a score.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was like more, and I was with a lot of people where I was like, you know what, he played with a couple different teams. You know, was he 100% healthy? You know, like that's what I was kind of like. All right, well, you know, if you're playing with two different teams, that's two different playbooks. You're not gonna probably have a huge like a big year receiving the ball. So I was like, all right, you know what? But if you're showing that you can't separate, like you used to, you know, you don't have the same speed. You know, like man, it makes it tough now, like for me to like be 100% on the move. But maybe Jack Besh. But I'm like, damn, we already have like Jacoby Myers playing the slot. Bowers is gonna go into the slot, you know, every now and then. So I'm sure like in different types of formation, like he
definitely will. We might even see Michael Mayer there on occasions. But what makes it tough is that it's like the receiver room is such a strange like fit. Like it don't like all really work well together, because you would think that like, you know what, Jacoby Myers outside and Jack Besh on the inside, because Jacoby Myers is miles better on the outside than Jack Besh. But then, you know, you don't want to lose the speed element that you have with Trey Tucker. So then, you know, obviously at that point, like you got to make that decision. Well, Jacoby is the best receiver we have on the team, so he, you know, obviously he will go in the slot. You know, Trey Tucker isn't quite as good in the slot. He can play both. You know, I think so far through his career, it's almost a 50-50 split between his outside, you know, snaps and his slot snaps. So, but you want to take advantage of his speed deep. So in order to do that, like, you know, outside is where you want to do it. So, and you let Jacoby and Brock work underneath. So it's like a weird fit where you can't necessarily put Jack Besh in his best spots because you have like this other like crowd in front of him. So it just makes it strange.
Yeah, man. And shout out to Bosco. He says, late night was good. Just want to say Cooper is known to teach route running techniques to Thornton, honing in on his technique, because I don't think Kobe giving no tips. He's trying to get a bag. Okay. I mean, I can see that. And I'd be big too. If Amari Cooper could play that role where he could help, you know, because Amari's been known to be a good route runner throughout his career. So if he could help a guy like Thornton in that department, whew, that's huge. There's value there. So you know what, there's value there. Yeah. But I guess
Jacoby was though. Jacoby was like I think the young guy. I want to say Jack Besh and Tommy Malott both said. I don't recall Dante Thornton saying it. He might have said it as well, but I recall Malott and Besh both saying like Jacoby's been fantastic. Like anytime they have questions about anything, like they can ask Jacoby. So like he's playing that mentor role.
Oh yeah, Smoke, you would have knocked him out for sure.
Oh, for sure.
That's wild, man. He does that to a kid, and he did it, you know.
Lil Smoke would have knocked him out. Lil Smoke got hands. Like Lil Smoke would have two-pieced him. It would have been a wrap.
Nah, facts, man. Oh, man. Bosco says not expecting to turn his team to be in the playoffs overnight, but Washington roster didn't look that good in the beginning of the year either. Wonder what coaching tree their head coach came from. Okay. All right, we'll see. Man, the defense, though, I'm stretching. Like, you could tell, like, when you stretching too much, it's like, damn, like, is this defense going to be good? It's like, probably not. But, you know, it's a lot of stretching. Like, the secondary, linebacker, and, like, D-line has to be on point. Like, it has to be, like, in order for them to be a decent defense, I'll probably say, like, probably one of the best in the league. You know what I mean? Or at least top half, you know, as far as getting after the quarterback. Because it's going to be a lot of growing pains with that secondary. Let's see here. Joseph, man, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I know you're not a Raiders fan, but you just came here to hate. I see. All right, man. Let's move it along. Let's get to, you know, notable quotables. This is where we play a quote. We react to it, have a good conversation about it. What's the first notable quotable, Severe?
So I think we've been kind of referring to it. Tom Brady, Tom Brady. We've been making some references to it, but Tom Brady. I think you had a tweet talking about this as well. Tom Brady basically insinuated why certain players weren't drafted or why he likes to target or he would target certain players.
Yeah. Let's see here. Hold up. This is the Shadur?
Yeah.
Oh no. Here we go.
Team sport. Because football is the ultimate team sport. And even in this broadcasting role, Chris, that's what I look for all the time. When a quarterback throws a touchdown pass, I actually watch to see who he goes and celebrates with. Because what did I do? I looked for my offensive lineman every time. I went down and celebrated in the end zone with my teammates every time. I wanted everyone to feel like they were part of the success. I told the linemen, we're all running to the end zone and we're celebrating as a team. Because I think that's way more intimidating than a quarterback doing his 6-shooter guns and pointing up in the crowd and doing all that other bullshit that's very self-promotional, but it's not about winning. And I think winning in football is about a team, always a team attitude first.
So what was your first reaction when you heard that quote, Severe?
Nonsense. Complete nonsense. Because everybody celebrates individually before they celebrate as a team. Like, it's okay to do something or like, and I know a lot of quarterbacks, they do the arrow thing when they do it. Like, you can do that and then go celebrate with your guys. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with it. Like, we saw Aaron Rodgers for years do the discount double check stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we've seen it. I've seen Tom Brady go out of his way to go trash talk somebody after scoring a touchdown. Not worried about celebrating with his team, more worried about the back and forth he's having with an opponent. So, like, don't give me this nonsense. Like, I'll look for the guys that does this and does this, because, like, it just sounds like you're trying to create a narrative, and that narrative is not accurate. And that narrative, also coming from a guy the caliber of Tom Brady, is very persuasive. So then people start to buy into that narrative, and then they start to find fault in other people who do that. So it's nonsense, because all of these guys celebrate individually. It might just be something as small as a fist pump or something like that, but you still celebrating. Like, you still celebrating by yourself. You didn't fist pump with everybody around. Did you hold your fist pump till you got to the end zone with all 5 of your offensive linemen and then all in synchronicity fist pump together? No, you celebrated individually, because that's what individuals do. And then you celebrate as a team. There's nothing at all wrong with that.
Yeah, man. Look, when I heard that, I was like, man, and this is it had me thinking about like the Raiders, right? Because obviously when you hear Tom Brady talk, I'm gonna connect certain things to the Raiders because he's in the building, he's connected to the Raiders' decision making in that building. If you don't think so, then we can't really have this conversation. We're not gonna agree, but we all, in my opinion, Brady is he has a big voice in there. When I heard this, Raiders, and I think about Raiders just recently cutting Cam Miller, or they're 2 6-round picks, both quarterbacks. One was a converted wide receiver. Give me 1 second. 1 second. So if you want to hold down the chat real quick.
Yeah. So we got right here, complete nonsense, but Brady goes Captain America again. How many rings do Arrow guy discount double check? I mean, the Arrow guys are young guys, but I've seen Patrick Mahomes celebrate a whole bunch, and right now he's on pace to do what Tom Brady did, without the benefit of having Bill Belichick, the greatest defensive coach of all time, as his head coach. So, and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he only has one, but you hear about Tom Brady talk about Aaron Rodgers as one of the best throwers of the football or one of the best quarterbacks he's ever seen. So, like we can't paint these like these silly narratives out there. And as I've said before, I've seen Tom Brady be more wrapped up with him having a confrontation with the guy than he is with celebrating with this guy. So it's disingenuous, and it's one of those things where you throw red meat out there for people to kind of pounce on, and you say it because it sounds good and it sounds like something you should say, but is it accurate? No, it's not accurate.
See, I was saying, for me when I heard the quote, and I think about Cam Miller and I think of Tommy Miller getting cut in the sixth round, both former quarterbacks. Obviously, one was being converted into a wide receiver, but Cam Miller, who's currently on the practice squad, I'm like, we cut guys that we could have easily drafted Shedeur Sanders. And the Raiders could have easily got Shedeur Sanders multiple times throughout the draft. Obviously NFL, but in this case, I'm specifically talking about the Raiders. So when I hear Tom Brady talk like this, and we know that he has a big voice in that building, I'm like, this is probably why he's trying to make sense of him not going after Shedeur. Because how are you not draft a guy that you supposedly have a relationship with? You supposedly have like a mentorship or whatever the case may be. Like Dion obviously introduced them, and they know each other, and they possibly trained with each other. So I'm sure he's aware of him as a player, and like when you make comments like that, like I feel like everything Tom Brady says goes under a microscope now, because he's a minority stake owner for the Raiders, and we all know that what Mark Davis said a few years ago, he wants to get a football guy in the building, and in my opinion, that's Tom Brady. And he's going to be overseeing things. John Spytek, that's a Tom Brady guy. That's his boy from college. Like, he made that happen. Everything that's going on with the Raiders is got a little bit of Tom Brady's influence on what's going on. Obviously, not the everyday stuff, but the major decisions, like a quarterback. Like, it just makes me think that, like, this guy Tom Brady, in my opinion, like, there's probably bigger stuff that that contributed to Shedeur dropping, meaning like there's collusion. Shout out to like that Eric Dickerson pretty much coming out and saying that he talked to an good NFL source saying that the NFL basically reached out to teams and said that he wasn't going to not to like draft him pretty much. But you would think a guy like a Tom Brady would do that, but when he's talking like this, I automatically think of like Shedeur and the Selly dance, and Shedeur is more of like a flamboyant, flashier player. You know what I mean? Not to say that he's not a team player, not to say that he doesn't, celebrate with his teammates, but like I'm looking at it from like a perspective like, oh, he's a more flashier player, and he's kind of taking a shot at that type of player. Yeah. And it's crazy. You talk about him contradicting himself too. He talks about in that same interview, he says like, oh, I'd rather play with champions than star players. I'd rather play with champions. And he goes into like all the undrafted free agents and the 6th round picks that he played with. But it's like someone made a great point the other day. They were like, bro, you tried to play with Antonio Brown.
He recruited Antonio Brown. Not tried to play with him. He recruited Antonio Brown. Let Antonio Brown stay in his house. Like that's how how much he wanted Antonio Brown. He let Antonio Brown stay in his house. And know what that tells me? So first of all, like if your evaluation boils down to does this guy celebrate after touchdowns or how does he celebrate after touchdowns or not, then like you don't know what you're doing. Like you don't know what you're doing. Because I care infinitely less about that than I care about how does the guy command the huddle? How is his presence in practice? How is he in the meeting rooms? How does he treat his teammates when they're just out and about? Does he try to build relationships with these people? Like that's more important than, oh, does this guy throw up a wrist or does he do a finger gun or does he shoot the bow in the air? Like all that stuff is trivial. It's not even tertiary. It's like 10th on the list of things I look at. I'm looking at all those other things first. And then what else he was saying? Like he was talking about, oh, I've had 6-round picks, guys. I'm looking for guys that work hard. Know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like to me that Tom Brady is crediting a lot of the winning he does to the Patriot way, which was established by who? Bill Belichick, right? Because he's the guy that filtrated all these players and got these correct character guys in here and built that synergy for them to win. So it sounds like Tom Brady is saying that because I had these guys that were hard workers and the receivers that would crack down on DNs and yada yada, that's why we won. Well, guess what? Sounds like you're giving Bill Belichick a hell of a lot of credit for all those wins, then, aren't you?
Yeah. I think I think it's a little bit like he's not being 100% honest about this situation. You know what I mean? He's trying to make it seem like I think I'll give him a little bit benefit of doubt, saying that there's a mindset that goes into winning. You know what I mean? Everybody has to be on the same page. But if we had obviously the interview was pretty solid. I mean, he said some things that's kind of interesting, but I just thought that was interesting when he made that comment, like, I'd rather play, stars, the stars can get their numbers and, they can obviously get you paid, but when it comes to winning, it's a lot of sacrifice and this, that, and the third, which, I agree with that to a certain extent. But like, there are certain things where he's not being 100% honest. Like, talent matters too, bro. Stop talking about the 6-round picks and undrafted free agents. Like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like, talent matters too. And if we're being honest, Tom Brady was able to make that work. Yeah. If it wasn't for Tom Brady, then the Patriot way would not work. It's the fact that they had a great quarterback. You know what I mean? Is the reason why that the Patriot way was able to work. Like, the Patriot way won't work if your best player, your quarterback, isn't in the building. Like I think it goes hand in hand. Like, they both helped each other out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely interesting conversation, man. Definitely my tweet went viral. That shit went crazy. I couldn't even keep up with all the comments, and people obviously disagreed and agreed, and they took it left, all the way left. It's crazy, but yeah, man, if you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let's go to the next notable quotable. Severe, what we got lined up?
Yeah, the next notable quotable is, I know we've all been kind of talking about, our projections. I know a lot of us have been throwing win projections in there, what we think the Raiders are going to do in terms of wins and losses. But a lot of that could be determined by a unit we haven't really talked about today. I know we talked about our wide receivers, we talked about our secondary, we talked about our linebackers, but our offensive line. And this is a kind of a point that, I've made and you've made as well, is that a lot of this falls on the offensive line. And some of the guys over at The Athletic, they were discussing the Raiders' potential season, and this subject came up, and they had some very interesting things to say.
You sent this?
Yeah.
I know oh yeah, you know what? I forgot to mention. Honorable mention, a flag on a play is the Bills uniform.
Oh yeah.
I automatically when I seen that, I was like, hold up, is that the 2017, 2018 little color rush, Raider color rush jersey? I was looking at it real quick. I was like, they got a hint of blue, but I'm like, man, like these teams ain't got no creativity or style. Like they really just, let's see what the Raiders are, you know what I mean, wearing. Like some of these jerseys, like they really are trying to steal the swagger or the style from the Raiders, man. Let's see. I'm not sure if you sent it.
Should be bam.
Yeah, you got it. 132.
Yep, 132. Yep.
All right.
For me, the offensive line is the swing point of this team, and so for me,
the
offensive line. For me, the offensive line is the swing point of this team. And so DJ Glaze at right tackle, I think, played well enough last year to deserve walking into this year with the right tackle job. That's what I would say about that. Jordan Meredith, I actually thought played some really good football for them last year in like spot duty at guard. And when they signed Alex Kappa, part of me was like, oh, that's interesting. I actually thought that Jordan Meredith played pretty well last year and kind of wanted to see him again. And then they just moved him to center and moved Jackson Powers Johnson to guard. And so that was the 5 that in the back half of last season, I was kind of like, all right, like I can get behind this. And so to see them roll with that 5, that's what I wanted to see. But can DJ Glaze go from being a guy who had enough flashes to deserve a starting job this year to somebody who takes a significant step forward? That's not always the case for these day 2 offensive linemen that have a little kernel of something. Like it's not guaranteed that development is going to happen. And Jackson Powers Johnson, same kind of deal. And then the other thing you're throwing in here, their offensive line coach is Pete Carroll's son, and he has never been an NFL offensive line coach before. He was an assistant offensive line coach a couple different times, and then he was an offensive line coach and coordinator for both Arizona and Washington under Jed Fish over the last 3 or 4 years. So do you have the right development circumstances for a lot of those young guys who you need to take a step forward? I'm open to the answer being yes, but I think whatever way that goes is literally going to be the swing point for the 2025 Raiders.
Hey, that's real. That is real. But I think the biggest issue for the Raiders offensive line is its depth, to be honest with you. I think on paper, I think they can be solid. I think it could be average. You know what I mean? Like average, solid, a solid offensive line. It's just that if they get hurt is the problem. Like if any of those guys get hurt, it's over.
Yeah,
it's gonna be uphill battle the entire season. But you know, and that's a good point too about the offensive line coach. Like we've been here kind of like questioning it, like why hiring your son and like the implications of that, and if it doesn't work out, like who's gonna be the person to tell them the bad news, like you know what I mean, like, and then you know from a developmental standpoint too, that like they got some young offensive linemen in that room. So is it Caleb Rogers going to be ready this year? Is it Charles Grant going to be ready this year? Are they gonna be able to contribute? Because if someone goes down, they're probably going to be. Are they going to come in and be able to like help out the team? If not, you know, are they going to be able to help out the team? At what point are they going to be able to help out the team? And I think that's on the coaching development. So we'll see how it shakes out. But yeah, I agree 100%. I'm open to, you know, offensive line coach, like, you know, coaching up this team, that group. But for me, it's just injuries and depth. Like injuries are going to happen. Someone's going to get hurt. And it's like, what are the Raiders going to do? Like, that's the honest truth is that like, there's nothing they can do. They got like that. They got that offensive lineman that you pointed out that can only play right tackle. And then we got Alex Kappa waiting in the wings. We all see what he did last year. I don't know if you want to see him on the football field. Caleb Rogers, is he ready to go? I don't know. Charles Grant looks like he probably needs to stay away from the football field for right now, because NFL pass rushers will destroy this man's confidence. I mean, what was your take when you heard it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I've been pointing to since the hire happened. Like, you have one of the most important hires on your team, and is it going to the most qualified person? Like, all the people in the entire world that you could have looked at for this job, this was the person you settled on. It just happened to be your son. Like it just leaves questions. It leaves questions, especially when you draft. Yeah, especially when you have like young guys like JPJ and DJ Glaze from last year, as they talked about. Then you draft guys like Charles Grant, who needs a lot of development. And then Caleb Rogers, who's further along than Charles Grant, but still needs development. And then, you take a guy that's an international pathway player, as a rugby player, who we had at DT, and all of a sudden, right, the coach's son converts the guy that we had at DT. Now he's a guard now, right? So we thought he was going to be playing DT. Now he's not playing DT because he's in the same position group as the coach's son. So this guy with all this raw physical talent and ability, you've entrusted to this person for him to develop the right way. So a lot of our success, plus we're going to be a team that's predicated on running the ball. We all know how important offensive line play is to running the ball, because anytime Genty took a hit in the backfield, it wasn't Genty's fault, right? We automatically blame the offensive line. So it seems like that's going to be the theme the entire year, where if Genty doesn't get off, we're going to say it's the offensive line's fault, so, or if Zamir doesn't get off, it's just Zamir, right? That's how that's going to go. So if Zamir doesn't play good, oh, Zamir, you suck. If Genty doesn't play good, oh, it's the offensive line. That's going to be the narrative. So there's going to be a lot of focus on this offensive line, like it or not. There's going to be a whole bunch of focus, just as it was after the week 1 performance in the preseason. Everybody looked at, the offense. That's when people started kind of coming along to our line of thinking, like, well, I don't know about this offensive line. We'd already been saying that a week prior. We were haters, but when Genty doesn't play well, then I was like, oh man, you guys are onto something.
Let me ask you this. What would the talent level have to be at the very least for a player to transcend them? So like, all right, a running back, let's start just generally speaking, like a great running back, can he overcome like terrible O-line play? Or would it at least have to be average?
You like once in a millennia player. Like we've heard generational. It had to be like Barry Sanders level talent to overcome bad offensive line play. And that's not Genty's strength. Genty's strength is having vision, recognizing the holes, being able to hit them, and then being able to once you are in there, being able to hide because you're a smaller guy, find those other creases, and then bounce off contact and create more yardage. Like that's where he's at his best. He's not at his best making 5 guys miss and then like in the backfield and doing that. No, can he take some contact in the backfield? Yes, but do you want him trying to juke out 3 linebackers, especially NFL linebackers? No, you don't want him having to do that. You want him to be able to use his vision, get through the hole with some speed, and then use his contact balance to create yards after contact. Like that's ideal. But if he's getting constantly hit in the backfield, he's not the biggest guy, so like that's gonna have adverse effects. So like you need at least average at that point, And then we see what happened with Saquon, right? When Saquon, like obviously as a rookie, he would lead the league in scrimmage yards, but then he's injuries started to mount up. That's part of the reason. But he wasn't the same guy. Then he gets with a good offensive line, and all of a sudden he's 2,000 yards MVP candidate. So, offensive line is very important to the success and failure of a running back. And if we want to get the most out of a premium draft pick and, a guy with a lot of talent in Ashton Genty, then we have to make sure that the offensive line is locked in. And if they aren't locked in, Ashton Genty is not going to look good. There's just like, I don't care what he did at Boise. This ain't the Mountain West. Like if he's getting hit by NFL linebackers in the backfield, he is going to look pedestrian.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking like Raiders could be in the. They can be in the. Damn, I'm not gonna lie. they can easily take an offensive lineman with their first round pick next year.
We thought we would this year. With all our other needs, we thought it was a very strong possibility that we could this year.
I'd say offensive line. I know it's crazy to say, but like offensive line and then defense. You know what I mean? Whether it's a linebacker, corner, safety, you know what I mean? Just a playmaker on defense. Like, I don't know who's a playmaker on this defense outside of like Max. Like before you could probably say, Max and Spillane. Spillane was a good role player on that defense, solid, good player, but he was also a playmaker. Like, he made plays. Like, he had moments where he was getting interceptions, turnovers. Who's gonna be that guy on this defense? I don't know. And you also gotta, like, you know, shout out to Ray. He mentioned like Crosby needs to take that next step in like taking the ball. Like, he can't just sack quarterbacks. Now he got to take that ball. Like, he got to figure out a way to like force turnovers, because that's what this defense needs. Shout out to everybody pulling up. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody pulling up. We're going live on both our channels. So obviously, if you haven't subscribed to both, definitely do that, and definitely hit that like button. Clock in, as we like to say it on this channel. Zay says, you can't tell me Spytech paid $10 million for Kappa, worst guard in the NFL, and paid Forsythe most pressures allowed in the NFL with least snaps, and expect me to believe he's trying to compete this year. Man, it's hard for me to argue with you, man, because it's like the way they've kind of handled the offseason is very, very conservatively as far as like signing players. I will say this: Pete Carroll wants to win. Like, from his standpoint, it makes sense. Like, he's not trying to he's not trying to wait. He's not gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try my best to develop the guys this year. No, he's trying to win now. He's trying to win now at all costs.
Let me ask you this question, and this is not. These people are not the same, so don't say I'm comparing them apples to apples, but I'm just comparing thought processes and what they were trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. At the end of his life, was Al Davis trying to win?
And that's it's a slippery slope. When you have a guy that's trying to win at all costs, he's going to leverage the future in order to make that happen. And that's what Al Davis was doing. Every time he made a move, every time he made a big signing, every time he made a big trade, he wasn't taking into account, the future. Because what happened when, obviously when he passed away, McKenzie comes in there that first year, like cap hell from terrible contracts from previous regimes, previous years, and the Raiders had like to get out of that situation. So I think there should be a healthy balance. So I kind of like what the Raiders situation is. Spytech, he's all in on like, hey, look, I'm trying to make a move, not for right now, for later, for the next few years, 3 years, 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? As far along as possible, so he doesn't leverage. So he's not going to make a terrible mistake in the moment. So for example, like trading for Micah Parsons, I'm sure they checked in on it. Like, oh, let's see what it would take. But the Raiders are in no position to give up 2 first-round picks. It's simple and plain. Like, they got too many holes on the roster. It is what it is. I think it's just a healthy balance, to be honest with you. And I think it's good that, Spytech feels the way he does. And then, obviously Pete Carroll, he wants to win now. So then the only thing is who has final say, though, on decision making. Like, who comes in there and, like, I don't know. That's the tough situation. Because in the past, when Mike Mayock and John Gruden got an argument, John Gruden would just be like, just shut up. You know what I mean? We're gonna make this move.
Yeah, I mean, some of the moves leads me to believe that is Pete Carroll. But I will say this, right? And it's not even necessarily about leveraging the future or sacrificing the future to win now, because I mean, some people thought like that's what Les Snead was doing, but you know they had a plan. I think more, and this is why I look at that. This is why I can make comparisons to Al Davis. Is it the exact same situation? No, but as they say, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Like Pete Carroll, he's not like leveraging the future. What is he doing? He's grasping for the past. You see a guy like Ashton Genty. Who did people say Ashton Genty is like? Marshawn. We see Darian Porter. Who did people compare Darian Porter to? Richard Sherman. Like, you know, if you say he's trying to, like Jeremy Chin is a Cam Chancellor type. Like he's trying to replicate what he did in the past. And I think Marshawn even said as much.
He did.
This is what he's literally trying to do. Mm-hmm. The problem is that it was a long ass time ago that he won. And the NFL has evolved since that time. And it's like Al Davis. It's not as bad as Al Davis, but it's like Al Davis where they saw that they won a certain way. And if they can just do their way a little bit better this time, then they can win again. But sometimes you just have to find another way. And it could be a situation where Pete Carroll has to find another way.
Yeah, no, you made a good point, man. I remember I talked to you about that Marshawn and him saying making that like, basically saying that like, he loves what Pete Carroll. This is at the time when he did this podcast. Pete Carroll was the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, and I think it was like Shannon Sharp that was interviewing him, and he was asking about the current team, and he was like, yeah, man, I like the players, like with the talent on the team, but Pete Carroll's trying to recreate what they did in the past, and like he needs to let the players be their own players and build something new. You know what I mean? And I'm afraid of that too. And I know this is off topic, but I guess you know what, we'll save it. We'll save it because it's coming up. But yeah, Pete. That's the one thing about Pete Carroll. While I'm kind of concerned is that he's stuck in his ways, which is only natural. I mean, the guy, he's in the 70s. Like he knows what he knows. I'm like, he did say, he was able to take, spend this time to like observe some of the things that he did, what he could have done better, it's kind of how he took a break from coaching before he became head coach of the USC back in the day, and we all know what happened with USC. So hopefully, maybe it's a similar situation where he's able to like make some adjustments. But man, that's a valid criticism. But I don't know. Man, damn, the Genty one is like. So you think that's 100% Pete Carroll?
Oh yeah. Look what Tampa Bay did last year. What they do? They waited till the fourth round, take Bucky Irving, and the less deep running back class. Like, and you have the deepest running back class of all time, where you have offensive line offensive line issues was like the biggest factor for why you couldn't run the ball last year until you had your unit down the stretch. And so instead of like addressing other needs that you have, which where there were a plethora of, you go running back in the first round. Like that's just like what, and like in Ohio, why I really think it's Pete Carroll, because when Pete Carroll was in Seattle, who did he draft? Who was the running back he drafted in the first round? It was Rashad Penny. Where did Rashad Penny go? San Diego State. What conference is San Diego State? Oh my God, it's the Mountain West. He's doing the same things again. So look, man,
We'll see. We'll see how the season shakes out, man. Because There's a lot of like we got to see how it plays out on the grass, and that's gonna start this week against the Patriots. Man, I can't wait for the game. Is it 10 a.m. game?
Yep.
Oh man, I don't know about you, but I love 10 a.m. games. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It gets it out the way. You just get the early game. You watch whether it's you watch a good game, and then like you got the whole day ahead of you. You good instead of like it being like I don't know. I for some reason I like the 10 a.m. game. And I know like the 10 a.m. games haven't been good to the Raiders. Yeah. Obviously the time change. They go from the East Coast. They go from the West Coast to the East Coast. But as a fan watching the game, I love 10 a.m. games. I don't know why. It's just
I love it too.
It's just
you damn near wake up to some football.
Yeah, wake up to some football. You ain't gotta wait for it. Boom, it's right there for you, man. That's how you want it. But yeah, man. Let's move it along to the next notable quotable. Do we have another notable quotable?
That was it. Just those two.
Okay. Let's actually go to what's real, what's not. This is where we say statement. We react to it by saying if it's real or it's not. Let's go ahead and get to the first. Hold on. Notable quotable or what's real, what's not.
Yep.
So this first one, I'll go ahead and start it off. I am more confident in the direction of the Raiders now than I was on March 11th, the day before free agency started. I am more confident in the direction of the Raiders now than I was on March 11th, the day before. Yeah, I'm definitely more confident than I was March 11th for sure. That's definitely real. Because the reason why is because, man, I know that it's not saying a lot, but the way our linebacker room looked, like there's so many holes on the team where I'm like, I had so many question marks. I'm like, man, are there still question marks? For sure. But like the offense, we didn't know who the quarterback was at the time. Like we didn't know who our quarterback was. We have that now. The pieces that we have on offense, I feel kind of good about that. Like I said, we talked about depth. We talked about the defense needing more talent for sure. But I definitely feel more confident than I did March 11th, which is like literally the beginning of Raiders offseason. And they had free agents. They haven't addressed the quarterback's room at that time. I think, when did they make that trade with Geno?
It was it was in March, I want to say.
Oh, you know what? It might have been right before free agency. It might be right before free agency.
Was it right before? Okay. I think of what might have been. It might.
Yeah. Yeah, it might have been right before free agency. Okay. Well, hey, we got Genty at running back. We didn't know who we're gonna have. So like we have a little bit more talent. So I feel a lot more confident. Now, is that saying a lot? Like I said, there's Raiders still need a lot of depth at certain key spots. They need to get better. They need to be more talent for sure. But I definitely feel more confident. So that's real. What's your take on that?
It's not real for me.
I think real?
Not
damn,
real for me.
It got worse for you?
It got worse because it's almost like I guess confidence or like hope. It's like a draft pick. Like once it's selected or once it actually happens, it completely loses its value, right? Like you can trade the number 10 overall pick for X, Y, and Z. But after you make that selection, that player you selected is no longer worth X, Y, and Z. It might be worth X, Y, might be worth X, Z, or Y, Z, but it ain't worth X, Y, and Z. So, I think going into free agency, there was hope that, hey, you know what, we can bring back all our guys. We keep this defense together. Oh, man, the Spillane show and Hobbs, and we going to keep Merrick, and we're going to keep this train rolling on the track. And then, instant derailment. Like instant derailment. Now, should we have paid those guys what they were getting? No. But there was hope that we would be able to keep those people. Even before the draft, there was a lot of hope of what we would be able to do in the draft. And we had 4 selections in the first 3 rounds, and only one of those guys is starting. And it's the running back, which is the guy we shouldn't have taken in the first round. So it was, I just don't think, we had 11 draft picks. We had the second most money in free agency, and we have about as many questions on this team as we had on March 11th. Because the cornerback room, question. Linebacker room, question. We have questions about Tyree. Wide receiver room, question. Questions on the offensive line. The only places we don't have questions about, I give them this, is that quarterback and that running back, and obviously tight end, because there was never any question about that ever. But everywhere else, there was questions. We created more questions in the cornerback room. We said, hey, we have a guy at corner. He was one of the better corners in the league when healthy. If we can figure out a way to keep him healthy, then we'll be good at that corner. Instead of doing that, we take a guy that wasn't as good at corner, who's also injury prone, and they tell us, hey, we figured out a way to keep this guy healthy. But he wasn't as good as the guy that we had. Then we created offensive line issues with this mixing and matching, where we thought we had our center of the future, and we thought that Meredith came in and played admirably at guard, and we have this mix of guys that down the stretch Sincere saw success with and Amir Abdullah saw success with. And if we can just get more talent at running back, then behind this offensive line, we may be able to do something. And what do? We shuffled this offensive line around, and then we got rid of the depth behind the offensive line. So we've created questions where there were no questions before. So, it's like the needle hasn't moved at all for me. And if it has moved, it's moved in the opposite direction. I think a lot of people were believing all the stuff that Pete Carroll was selling them. It started out with, we moving training camp to Napa, knowing damn well they were not going to let you do that. You knew that wasn't going to happen. But this is red meat you threw to the fan base, because you knew that this would endear you to the fan base in the Bay Area, in Oakland. And these are the people that hey, their sentiment reverberates just about everywhere else. So how they feel about you is how the fan base writ large is going to feel about you. So you threw that red meat out there, knowing damn well there were 1,000 obstacles and 1,000 hurdles you would have to get over in order to be even considered to do that. You knew it, but you said you were going to do it. So that was just the first instance that we had of him selling wolf tickets. And it's been just time and time again after that, where he says things that are demonstrably false, or you're like, that doesn't sound right. So I don't have faith right now in what these people were saying or telling me. I can't believe what they're saying, because they told me Christian Wilkins was doing everything he could do to get back on the field, and then a month later they were saying, well, Christian Wilkins is just he was not working out at all. So it's like, bro, which one is it? Which one is it, right? So you're not gonna gaslight me and expect me to believe all the stuff that you're feeding me. It doesn't work like that.
I get you. You're just questioning some moves, but I still think that I'm more confident than I was before free agency, because at the end of the day, a lot of those guys that you talked about that they could have kept, they got overpaid. And Nate Hobbs, the guy that I said that for sure we the Raiders could have brought back especially on that contract. He got hurt again.
But he expected to play week 1.
Yeah, he expected week 1, but he had surgery. He went under the knife again. So it's just concerning. Yeah. Every year it's something.
But that's hindsight. I think we're operating under hindsight. I think going into free agency, we thought we can keep this team together.
But you said more confident. So what I'm saying is that they made the right decision. You know what I mean? Spillane, honorable mention, flag on a play. He's wearing number 14 at linebacker. That's disgusting.
That is
nasty. That's just nasty. What? At linebacker, 14. Yeah, man. It's flag on a play. But he did get paid. I mean, I'm not sure if you're.
I said I wouldn't pay him that money.
Exactly.
But I said before free agency, we didn't think he was gonna get that. That's my point. So you got to look at a vacuum. What did you think at that particular time?
I'm more confident that the Raiders are not making dumb decisions. They're not going to just overpay a guy just to overpay a guy. But look, Colton Miller, we were
look.
Okay,
They're not making dumb decisions. What did we just talk? What did we talk about? Let's think. What did we just talk about with Jeff Driscoll and with Stone Forsythe and with?
Well, I'm not saying it's been
like,
perfect. I'm not saying it's been perfect, but I'm just trying to like address like some of the things that you said with free agency. I'm starting there, but the guys that we said that they should have brought back, they all got overpaid.
Yes.
So like, am I gonna get mad at the Raiders for not overpaying them? I'm like, okay, well, and the guy that they possibly could have kept that nickel and Nate Hobbs, he went under the knife again. He got surgery. He's gonna be ready by week 1, but still, it's concerning like every year. So I get that. I'm just saying like the Raiders got more talent, so I'm more confident because they got more talent. The offense, I feel good about the offense, because at the time, all I knew about the offense was Geno Smith, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and Michael Mayer, and that's about it. You know what I mean? That's all. That's literally all I knew. But now I know exactly how the offense is going to look like, as far as Michael Mayer, who's had a good camp, Trey Tucker, who's had a good offseason, good camp, Jacoby Myers, we all know who's a good player, and we've reportedly heard like has great chemistry with Geno Smith. Brock Bowers is going to be Brock Bowers, right? Genty, from all accounts, looks like he's the real deal. You know what I mean? Like he looks like he's going to be a good running back, and that's better than what we had at the time at March 11th. So I'm just saying that we have more talent, so I'm going to obviously be more confident because we have more talent at certain positions. And on top of that, they necessarily, like if you look at some of the decision making, it hasn't been all the way terrible. Like I said, going into free agency, it was a terrible free agent class. They didn't overpay. You know, they didn't make any dumb contracts. They didn't do none of that stuff. Can you argue they at least could have been a little bit aggressive? That was not their game plan. Okay, they go into the draft. They got some of the guys that we are literally starting. Like, look, Dante Thornton is a starting outside receiver. Jack Besh, we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see with Jack Besh. Darian Important, we still got to figure that out. You know what I mean? That's the only thing is that the defense is where I can agree with what you're saying. Is that like, oh, okay, the defense is worse than what I thought it was going to be, but offense is way better than I thought it was going to be. Like, offense looks good. I feel like offense is going to be solid. At the very least, it's going to be solid.
The thing is that we went into the free agency with the second most cap space, and one of the first moves we did was sign Alex Cappa to a relatively big contract for a player of his caliber. For a player of his caliber, it was a massive contract, really, right? Like he should be playing on the type of contract that Devin White is playing on. So, like, we did these things, and like I said, on March 11th, we still had hope, and we have the second most cap space. We were talking about Trey Smith. Like, man, hey, Trey Smith, you know, we should send a big offer his way. Like, we were talking about like things of that nature. There was the speculation of the Jalen Ramsey stuff. Then we still had the hope of the draft and what we would be able to do in the draft. And, oh man, we could get a talented wide receiver. Man, this is a deep running back class. Man, we should grab the third and the fourth. Man, we should go back to back in the third and the fourth and get running backs. And we can grab us a corner. And like we had all these hopes. And we had 11 draft picks. And how many are starting? 2? And one is like kind of out of necessity. One is like it kind of feels like they would almost rather not start Dante Thornton, but they got no choice. So, you know, we have one solidified blue chip guy in Genty where it's like, hey, you know what? We were confident in this guy. This is going to be our guy. Wrap our arms around him, do everything we can to make sure that, you know, we feature him in our offense. But everywhere else, the other 10 picks, all question marks. So when you go into a draft and you do that, like that doesn't inspire confidence. Right? We took a project at corner, and now we're saying like, okay, well, we're a guy that needs more reps at corner. Now we're saying, you know, we're going to put you at reserve. We took a project at quarterback, turned him into a wide receiver, and he needed more time to develop, and we cut him because he didn't develop. Like, he wasn't developed when you do things like that, it don't make no sense. When you get rid of Thayer Manford, oh man, great job, Spike Tech. Thank you for getting rid of this bad player. Then you sign Stone Forsythe for more money. Like, you follow up a good move with a bad move. You pick Ashton Genty. Oh, okay, bam. I have questions, but it's undoubtedly the best running back in this draft class, right? Based on all the ratings. And then the next pick is Jack Bech. Like, what? A slot receiver that can't separate on the outside? Like, what are we doing? Like, it's just immediately. It's like, as soon as you make a good decision, you immediately follow up with a questionable decision. It's like, that don't inspire confidence.
Well, look, you could probably say Jack Bech is Jakobi Meyers' replacement, possible replacement.
Possible.
That's what it feels like, or it seems like, because if they're not going to pay Jakobi, who obviously needs to get paid, he's a good player, then you're going to look at Jack Bech as the replacement. They got the leverage to be like, hey, you know what? It's not working out. You know what I mean? We'll give you this raise this year, but next year, adios. You know what I mean? Because they already have a Jack Bech in the building, and they're probably going to try to develop him this year at some point, or give him some snaps to get better and hopefully contribute in the near future. But
yeah, if he was playing in the slot,
the statement was about confidence, and I'm saying I have more confidence than I did before because there was a lot of unknown. There was a lot of unknown with the team. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of unknown. Are they gonna bring back some of these free agents? I don't know. Are they gonna bring all of them? I don't know. Raiders need to add a wide receiver. What are they gonna do? They need some speed. Are they gonna have enough draft picks? Are they gonna focus on that? Man, offensive line. They probably should add someone there. Like, there's a lot of question marks. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're gonna do. It's a lot of like wait and see. And some of this stuff has been answered. Some of the things we kind of seen have played out, and I can say right now that I feel way better in the offense than I did back at March 11th, because now I can see it, like play out. I can see what it can look like. I can see what Chip Kelly can do with the talent that we already have. So, but I feel like more confident. But teacher's on. I hear what you're saying. There's been questionable moves. I like when Jack Bech got drafted, I was like, what the hell? But that was. But the more you think about it, it might have been a chess move. Sometimes certain players, they get replaced. The way they get replaced, it's not going to really be obvious. They do it like it's a chess move.
Yeah. See that, but that's true. But it's like,
damn, Kyle Williams.
Bro. But like, I feel you, because like, if Jack Bech was playing in the slot, I'd feel a lot better about that pick. So if he is supposed to be Jacoby's replacement, do I feel better about the pick? Yes. Do I still think it's the correct pick? Not when you traded back and you had an opportunity to take a guy like Will Johnson, or you had some of these other players like Kyle Williams, Jalen Royals, Alec Ayominer, Torrey Horton. Like, you had some other people that I thought were better prospects than Jack Bech, or who I preferred as prospects personally than Jack Bech at that particular selection. So it's like, it's, I don't know. It's hard to wrap my mind around some of the stuff that they were doing, because if in one mind you're saying, I want to win right now, but then the very next thing you do is, I'm gonna draft this guy that won't help me this year. Like, what? Like, huh? In the second round? Okay, I can understand later. But in the second round, you draft a guy that not really going to contribute. Like, it doesn't add up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. Cause
they might stick into the wild card, but if security catches them, they're taking all of them out.
That's funny, man. Hey, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let's move on to the next flag on the play, Severe. What's the next one we got?
Oh, next what's real, what's not?
Oh yeah, my bad. What's real, what's not?
See, you already throwing flags on Pete. See, I got you. You heard that. You heard that. You already throwing flags on Pete.
That's funny.
You got him. The next, what's real, what's not. Aston Genty will have over 120 or 120 yards from scrimmage in week 1. So Aston Genty will have over 120 yards from scrimmage in week 1. So that's receiving and rushing.
I'm gonna say, yeah, that's real. You said at least, right?
Yeah, over 120 all purpose.
Yeah, it's gonna be a healthy dose of Ashton Genty for sure on the road, and it's gonna be a defensive game. I feel like it's gonna be. Whoa, I don't know if it's gonna be a defensive game.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be a defensive game. Now that I think about it,
you caught yourself quick.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I'm like, man.
Yeah. That's why I asked.
If they have to score,
exactly,
and if it's a close game, then Genty's still gonna be involved in the run game. But if they have to come back, then at that point it's the pass game, and Genty's gonna get a couple of dump downs or whatever. But I don't think he's gonna be like the first option on to throw it to. Man. You know what? I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna go yes. I think Ashton Genty is going to get at least 120 all-purpose yards, receiving and rushing. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. Because that's basically like 60 yards rushing, 60 yards passing, or obviously if he has a really good rushing, you can have you get. It's just a combination of both. So yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say it's real.
I am going to say it's not real, and I'm going to say that Ashton Genty has a big first quarter, and then the Raiders fall behind, and that they are forced to throw the ball, and they basically take Ashton Genty all but out of the game, and we're trying to force passes to Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer and Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker in order to catch up, once we fall behind like a touchdown or fall behind 10 points. Like we're no longer conceivably, it's no longer feasible for us to continue to try to run the ball. So I think that, after he has a pretty good first quarter, maybe a good start to the second quarter, and then we start to have to leave the run alone. And that's where, he ends up with like 80-something, 80s, high 90s, like 90-something all-purpose yards.
I hear you. And that's what made me think about it too, was like if the game gets out of hand. But Drake May, I don't know if it's true, and we're gonna talk to someone from the Patriots this week. I'm not sure if I think there's gonna be an adjustment period in regards to that offense. We know how difficult that offense can be, and now you're talking about a guy in his first year in that offense, a young player, second-year player. He's in a completely different offense, and he's learning that Josh McDaniels offense that, to be honest with you, Derek Carr, a veteran, has struggled with. Other guys who are vets struggle with, like Jimmy G struggle with. So you're a guy like Drake May. I would say the biggest concern is his legs. Him getting outside the quarterback. So how the Raiders handle that is going to be on them, but I think that's going to be the biggest concern. So if it's his legs and maybe the short passing game, you know what I mean? Like Trayvon Henderson scares me. He's the one that's like, because he can just take a little dump off, screen pass, and then the rest is history. He's gonna take it to the house. So I'm just like, that's the guy where I'm like, okay, we gotta pay attention to, because I know I said the Raiders have one of the worst wide receiving cores because as of right now it's unproven, but the Patriots, ugly, just straight ugly. I mean,
we're talking about the receiving core.
Yeah, like
I would take Stephon Diggs and Kyle Williams.
They got Kyle Williams. I forgot.
Yes, I will take Stephon Diggs.
But I will. You know what?
Off of that, whatever he was sniffing on that boat, I would take him and Kyle Williams.
But the only reason why that made me think about it is because would you take Stephon Diggs over Jacoby Myers? Because Stephon Diggs hasn't been his productive self. Like in his prime, yes. But I'm just saying within the last few years, it's kind of been a drop off. So he's kind of like right now he's kind of going off his reputation now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's still the same guy. So if we look at it from that perspective, okay, they can cancel each other out. Let's say they cancel each other out, right?
I would say they would cancel each other out if Stephon Diggs wasn't going against Eric Stokes and Kyu Blu Kelly. If he's going against Eric Stokes and Kyu Blu Kelly. I haven't seen these guys play in professional. Well, I've seen Eric Stokes play in professional games. I haven't seen Kyu Blu Kelly play in professional games. There could be a reason for that. There could be a strong reason for that. So it's like it's not the even playing field. Let's talk about like them individuals in the vacuum. Okay, yes, but the obstacles they face ain't the same obstacles.
Let me see. Patriots. Outside of Caleb,
I know Josh McDaniels got something special with Patriots.
I know he does.
I know. And look, put it like this. People talk about how complicated his system is, right? When did Mac Jones play his best football of his career?
His
rookie year with who? Josh McDaniels. Okay, look, it's not exactly the same because Josh was kind of gone at this point. But the further that Aiden O'Connell gets away from Josh McDaniels' influence, the worse he gets. We saw that preseason, like he set the preseason on fire. We were excited about what Cam Miller did. What Aiden O'Connell did in the preseason a year was way better than what Cam Miller did. And it seems the further he gets away from Josh McDaniels' influence, he just regresses more and more. So obviously there's something he's doing. It could be just cheating. It could just be plain no cheating. I don't know. But there's something he's doing to make these guys look better when he has them. And once he's not there and they start to try to adapt to other people's coaching, they're just not as good.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels factor is kind of like something that I'm like concerned about going into week one. That's gonna be tough. But then
Spillane and then Caleb Chason and then Thayer Munford, they all over here now. Obviously the first two.
Chase Young went to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So it was him, Spillane, and Epps. Obviously they cut Epps, but it was those three guys.
See, this is what I hate when new regimes come in. They all do this. They always like either they don't bring a guy back because he wasn't, he's not part of what they're trying to do. He's from a previous regime, or like they try to get rid of him, or you know what I mean? Like they do weird stuff like that where good players can get lost in that whole situation between like a new regime and the current team or whatever. Because I don't know, it's I mean, what's the final score? What you got?
I'm going. Man, I don't want to pick.
You know what? No, let's save it.
We'll save it.
We're gonna do our NFL picks. We're gonna start it this week. We're gonna start NFL picks, so we'll save it. But for right now, we'll just call it a tough game. We'll call it a tough game. But yeah, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. At this point, clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We are going live on both our channels. So if you're new, definitely subscribe to both. Obviously, hit that like button and hit that notification bell when we drop new content. So definitely check that out. Severe, man, let people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
You guys know what it is. The Severe Raider here on YouTube, on IG, on TikTok, Snapchat, X, essentially everywhere. The Severe Raider. See me here every Tuesday night, the world famous 50-50 show with my guy PharoahNFL, as well as on Thursday nights, around the show, my dog PharoahNFL, as well as some guests. Something we're trying to do this year is bring you guys some new voices for some of the other teams around the NFL. So some fresh faces that you guys haven't heard before, maybe a different perspective, spark some good conversations. And then on Wednesdays, I'm in the Raider War Room with 805 and Chris from Protect the Shield, as well as on Sundays. And I'm trying to do something on Mondays. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do on Mondays. I'm trying to think maybe a solo show, maybe a membership show. Maybe I'll start a membership and that'll be like a membership live only on Mondays, where I could just talk trash to all you guys in the comment section, on Monday. So that's in the works, trying to move some stuff around, but we'll see. But if nothing else, be on the lookout for all the other shows I do.
Definitely. Yeah, the Patriots defense, I think they got high hopes this year on that side of the ball. Offense might be a work in progress, but the defense definitely is like, it might be a strength. That's what I'm like thinking about it. Like, man, like, but I feel like the Raiders might be a good matchup in that, like, they don't necessarily have to win on the outside in order for them to be successful. Because I know Zay, you bringing up like Carlton Davis, but the only thing is that offensive line got to protect Geno. I know you say they got Milton Williams. He's gonna be a dog. We're gonna have to be able to run that ball. That's gonna be huge. But hey, we'll have plenty of time to talk about that. We'll be back here this Thursday around the Shield. Hey, we got some special guests, man. Patriots. We're gonna have a Patriots guy in the building to talk some football, to break down the Patriots and what they got going on as far as, head coach, defense, offense, players that we got to look out for. Hey, man, it's good to study the enemy, and what better way to have the enemy in the building, and we can hear their thoughts on the team, and obviously we're gonna have that conversation. It's gonna be good, so make sure to tune in this Thursday around the Shield with me and Severe, and then be on the lookout for our guests who's going to be pulling up on that day. And then any last thoughts before we head out? Also definitely give us a follow on Around the Shield on IG and X. Obviously give us a follow all over social media, the Severe Raider, and then myself, PharoahNFL. But Severe, man, any last thoughts before we head out?
Yeah, quick thing. Anybody in the SoCal area, I am doing a watch party at my one of my best friend's bars in Hawthorne, California. The Dank Crypto Bar. Come check us out. We're having free shots for every Raiders touchdown. So we're expecting to have a lot of alcohol left at the end of the game. And then and then they do have like beer on tap. They have beer specials there. So come kick it with your boy. It should be fun. Hopefully, we get to see a Raiders victory that day. And then, man, Jeff, me and 805, we had Jeff on the other day, and he is doing, like, anybody that's going to the New England area for that game, they're putting on like a whole plethora of events. Like, they're going to Al Davis's birthplace where they're dedicating dedicating something, doing some kind of dedication for him, and Sandra Douglas Morgan is supposed to be there, and Mark is going to be there, and then they're going to Fenway, and they're going to some restaurants. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff. So check out Jeff. He's doing it big for all the Raider fans, and then they're having a huge, massive tailgate out there for everybody that shows up. And I think he basically said, hey, you know what? Don't even worry about money. If you can donate. But if not, you know what? They're just putting it on for our Raiders fans. So definitely please show up and support Jeff if you are going to be in that area.
Fudge is trying to know what's the address. Where can they find the address?
Oh yeah, it's let me it's 13825 Hawthorne Boulevard.
Let me put that in the chat real quick.
Yeah.
You said 1328
13825.
13825 Hawthorne Boulevard.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. All right, there you go. Should be able to see it. All right. Yeah, man. So that's the address, man. Definitely check that out, man. Watch party with Severe, man. Definitely check that out, man. That's gonna be dope. Anybody in the SoCal area, definitely check them out. Coach says Raider fans are addicted to not being comfortable. That's why they predict 10-7 and close wins.
Hey, well, that's what I was told coming up. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the only way.
Hey, there you go, man. There you go, man. Well, why not just say win 31-17? Because not enough drama for Raider fans. Hey, man. It's PTSD, coach. It's really PTSD, like in disguise. Like we've seen so many. We gotta see this team prove that they could win in comfortable fashion before we start getting used to that type of stuff.
It's been a long time since that happened. Since Hugh Jackson, last time he had some big win.
Long time. I mean, well, damn that year. I mean, I would say that 2016 year. 2015, 2016, like Del Rio.
Like, get some blowout wins? Now we're winning tight games. We're winning all like one-score games. Now remember, that was their criticism. Like, all our games were one-score games.
No, but that 2 year run, that first 2 years of Del Rio, there was some blowouts. There were some comfortable wins. Like the Texans, Texans was not a close game. Not in the playoffs, but in the regular season.
Our biggest win, ironically, was the Colts. I want to say that was our biggest win that year, by the most points. And that's what, like, Derek Carr probably shouldn't have been in the game.
Yeah, that was just.
Remember, we started the year off like going for 2 and gambling.
Yeah, and that was like the identity of the team right there, like super aggressive. It's kind of similar, kind of approach. Low key, kind of to Dan Campbell. Like, he has hella confidence, like, and he does like stuff like that to breathe confidence into the players. And you know, it's funny, Marty, you said Crabtree. You know, I was hella trying to see, like, oh, you know what, Amari maybe could be what Crabtree was when he came. But you know how old Crabtree was when he got to the Raiders?
28.
Yeah, like 28, 27, like 27, 28. You know, I was like, you know. Because I think he's like 37 now, so like that's 10 years ago. So that's 27, yeah, man. And Amari, he's like 30. Yeah. And Crabtree start like kind of like breaking down. I won't say breaking down physically, but just like he wasn't getting
that age.
He wasn't getting open like with like that fourth year. It was like, oh, okay.
In Amari's defense, he always had more athleticism than Crabtree, so. You take away any athleticism from Crabtree, like, you got nothing. There's nothing left. So Amari started out a little bit more, a lot more.
Bro.
So if he comes down, he'll still have more, but I don't think he was as physical as a receiver as Crabtree, and he don't got the same kind of catch radius or hands as Crabtree. So that's where it comes. Like, Crabtree can operate in tight spaces comfortably. Amari, I don't know if he can.
You know what's crazy too is that, like, man, like you really learn to appreciate players that like that really get, like, they age like wine, like longevity. Guys like Jerry Rice literally play into their 40s. Even Tim Brown, he was pretty good until his, like, you know, mid 30s, I would say.
Yeah, late 30s. I would say, late 30s. I thought he got to late 30s, like 36. I thought he got to like 36.
I'm just saying, like, at that point, like, he wasn't getting like 1,000 yards, but he was still good. He was still good. T.O. was too. T.O. was special. T.O.
still looks pretty athletic. You watch T.O. work out, he still looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'll say Randy Moss. It was a little bit of drop off, but you know what, Randy Moss, You know what thing with Randy Moss? I could tell like that his talent was crazy.
Crazy.
Like, and I don't think he had the work ethic like a Jerry Rice or even a Tim Brown or even T.O. T.O.'s a hard work. You could tell T.O. You could tell like he worked his ass off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You could tell how he was able to prolong his career because he was around Jerry Rice. He's seen it firsthand. Yeah. Like that was his vet, was Jerry Rice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? So he learned a whole lot of game. But I noticed that a lot of receivers, man, like once they hit their 30s, it's a little bit of a drop off. Like some of them don't even make it. Like I'm not gonna lie, like Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
Bro, he really made a career out of that catch.
That one catch. Yeah.
You know, early on he was clean. I'm not gonna lie. Like his
he was nice. He was nice.
Few seasons, but injuries kind of like derailed his career. But man, after that, like he was just living off that catch, and like he had that social media, and it just like kind of brought like like a good move for a team to sign him, like because they brought like money and fan base and shit.
It was a catch in the hair. It was like he had that blonde hair. He had the look, that unique look that people ain't seen before, plus the catch. So you know, and he was playing in New York, which is like a big market. So it was all just like it was like a perfect storm for him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what modern day receiver played well into. Oh, you know what? I take that back. Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald. See, but that's another. I mean, obviously not the same, but that's another Crabtree-like player, where it's like, okay, he's like strong hands, physical guy, you know, like big catch radius. Okay, you know, if you're close to me, it's not gonna bother me because I'm still, you know, physically box you out and then catch the ball. Like that's, you know, that he's closer to Crabtree than he is to Amari. Like speed guys. I'm trying to think of a speed guy that played well. I mean, Mike. How old is Mike Evans?
Damn, you know, Mike Evans is good too. Mike Evans is showing his 30s, but I'm trying to think. Let me pull it up right here.
Mike Evans. I'm trying to think.
Mike Evans is he's 32.
So he was.
I thought he was older. I thought he was older.
A year older than Amari.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not, and he's also a bigger guy too. Trying to think who's another guy.
Did Mike Evans come out that same? Did Mike Evans come in that same draft? No, that was the draft before.
Yeah, it was the draft before. It was Kevin White was that draft.
Kevin White. Oof. Yeah, then we got the right receiver.
Yikes. Okay, trying to think. Oh, who was I don't know how good he was, but I remember he was still effective. My guy Ted Ginn.
Oh, you're saying like speed guys that were like.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of speed guys.
But Ted Ginn was more. He was always like a role player.
He was raw athleticism though too. Yeah, he was like it was like no technique. He was just raw athleticism.
I'm not gonna lie, like the way he used to run, it was clean, bro. Like it was
clean. Whew. Bro, like, at Ohio State,
I felt like he was gonna take it to the house like every time. Like I was like the way he natural kick return, natural runner. Like it's explosive, but he was more of a role player. Julio Jones
fell off with injuries.
He fell off.
Julio Jones may be Amari. No, Julio Jones like a year.
Steve Smith, I'll give that. Steve Smith.
Steve Smith. But Steve Smith is dead. Steve Smith's a different beast though, man. Like we wish Amari had some Steve Smith in him. Pause. But you know, we wish. We wish that. We wish like that kind of dog. Amari not that kind of dog, man. Amari is not that kind of dog. Steve Smith, he was out there trying to bully everybody in his path, like physically, like mentally and physically.
Deshaun. How old was Deshaun?
Deshaun, when he got with us, Deshaun was washed. Oh, and how was that?
What we said, like 20, was that 2021, 2020?
2021. Yeah, 2021, I think.
2021.
I remember that Thanksgiving Day game.
So that's 2021.
See, I think you guys kind of making. I think you guys are kind of making.
He's 38 now. About 4 years
so he was
ago.
so he was 34. So he's older. He's older. That's not. It's not fair. But he was low-key. He was low-key a journeyman before that, though.
Yeah. But I will say though, like he was clean with the Eagles, and when he went to the Redskins at the time, he was good with them too. I felt like he had moments where he was like, he was making plays for him. I think he might have like 1,000-yard season with them.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me just double check on that. I want to talk about my ass. Washington. Washington. He was serving. That first season, he had like 1,100 yards, almost 1,200. Second season,
what year was
he
that?
got hurt. 2014. And then 2015.
Oh man, that was like he was like 27 years old.
I know. I'm just saying his first year with Washington when he got traded, like he was good with the Eagles.
Okay.
He was good with the Eagles. We all know he was good with the Eagles. But then he went to Washington. He was good with them. Second year he got hurt. Then the third year he got 1,000 yards. And then after that it was like Tampa Bay. I think like after that it was like with Tampa Bay he was like more of a deep threat, big play guy, but he wasn't like the same player. Yeah, bro. Like wide receivers, when they hit like 32, 30, like once they get into their early 30s, it's a drop off. There's not a lot. Like and
it's not all of them though.
It's not all of them.
It's the speed ones.
But Tim Brown was a speed guy.
Yeah, but remember, Tim Brown had that knee injury year 2, so he kind of had to develop other parts. Like he wasn't the same level of speed guy after that. He was still a speed guy, but he had that injury, so I think he developed like his route tree.
Let me see.
And he still had some great hands too.
You said Bosco said Santana Moss.
Santana Moss, I don't think Santana Moss. Santana Moss kind of fell off, especially those last few years. I don't know if he was injury prone or what, but he fell off the last few years with Washington. I remember. He started with the Jets, right?
Yeah, he started with the Jets. Okay. Third year he had 1,000 yards. That was his breakout year, and then after that he had 838, almost 1,500, 05, 790, 808, 1,000, 900, 1,100. Let's see. How old was he? I think after 31. 31 was his last 1,000 yards and big like receiving yards. He received the ball 1,100 yards, and after that it was like a little drop off. Like he was getting like 500, 573, 452, and then 116 his last season. He didn't even start the game. He just came in like probably as like a back like rotational guy. And that was at age 35. So his last season where he was like really productive, like on like 1,000 yards, was 31.
Oh, okay, maybe.
I'm telling you, bro. Like once people be talking about running backs dropping off at 30, I mean they should be doing a study on wide receivers.
Yeah, wide receivers. Yeah.
Like there are like the exceptions to the rules. There's exceptions to rules for sure.
Yeah.
But
I think what people are missing is like we're trying to look for like speed guys. Like Torrey Holt is a good one. Isaac Bruce, is a speed guy. I don't consider Isaac Bruce a speed guy. Torrey Holt is kind of a speed guy.
Let me see.
Torrey
Holt. Let's see.
Torrey Holt was serving. Torrey Holt got some great numbers. Some great numbers.
31.
Yeah, that's his last good year.
Damn, he had a short career. 99 and 09. 10 years.
He balled though. He killed. He didn't play 10 years, but he balled, man. He balled though in those 10 years.
Oh yeah, he did. He did. Like he was like literally his first year, like 788, and then after that, his second year, 1,600 yards, 1,300 yards, 1,300 yards, 1,700 yards, 1,300 yards, 1,300 yards, 1,100 yards. Like damn near 1,200, and then his like second to last he had like damn near 800, and his last season he had 700, and then he retired at age 33. So, yeah, like he was a great talent. Yeah. Like he's a Hall of Famer. God,
for sure.
Like he was just productive. Like his consistency was crazy. But that's, you know what, too, a little bit
the Rams.
But he played with some bad teams. Like he played after that Greatest Show on Turf when Mike Martz took over. Them Rams team was ugly. Mark Bolger. I don't know if you remember Mark Bolger.
Mark Bolger. I think that's where old boy started, right? Old boy started. I think
his first game, he beat the Raiders in 0-2. I was like, damn. I was like, fuck, bro. Like, that 0-2 game against the Rams. I don't know if anybody remembers that game.
Was it? Nah.
Damn, bro. There really is once a receiver turns 30, bro. It's almost pointless to give him a contract, like a multiple year contract. Like Andre Johnson. Let me do Andre Johnson.
See, but that's another guy. He's not like a speed guy though. That's like because those guys age better. I think those big body receivers like Andre Johnson age better. Like, cause Julio, even though he's a big body guy,
I don't even think it matters, bro. Well, yeah, it does matter. I'm just saying, like, I'm just looking at like the pattern. I'm just seeing that, like, even if they're big, they're like once they. But I ain't gonna lie, Torrey Holt, like age 33, he had like 800 yards or 700 yards. I'm like, and that was with the Jaguars, his last year.
That's crazy.
With the Jaguars. Yeah, even Andre Johnson, 33. And then 34, he had 500 yards. At age 33, he had 936 yards.
Okay.
At 34, he had 500 yards. 35, like, he barely played. He had like 85 yards. That was like last year. You see what I'm saying? Like T.O., bro, T.O. could have kept going. He literally got blacked out, though. Or he got balled, blackballed, yeah. Like I don't know why no one was trying to give him. Well, we all know he was like a locker room problem.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Hold on, check something real quick before we head out. T.O. 37 years old, bro. 900 yards, 983, and 9 touchdowns.
That's with the Bills.
With the Bills.
The Bills or the Bengals?
Oh no, with Cincinnati.
The Bengals.
Yep, Cincinnati. With the Bills, he had 829 yards, 55 receptions, 72 receptions, 983 yards with the Bengals. His last year, that was with Chad.
Yeah.
37.
That's crazy, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was, bro. That's why I'm like, man, T.O. Moss. I'm like, man, T.O. was a monster, bro.
He was a monster.
Like I think Moss arguably the most talented receiver ever, but
yeah,
I don't know if he was a better receiver than T.O. Like, let me see, 96 to that's like 14 years to 2010. Yeah, it's about 14 years. Yeah, bro. Once a receiver hits 30, bro, it's done. They're pretty much done. Like, not like running backs, but you know, it is what it is. But hey, man, we appreciate everybody pulling up. We up out of here, man. Let's get up out of here. We'll be back here this Thursday. Fallout says Moss better than T.O. You're tweaking. I don't know, man. T.O. was nice, man.
I feel already know. I got Moss over T.O. I got Calvin Johnson over T.O. So that's just me.
I don't know. I like T.O., bro. I like the longevity. Yeah. I like he was great. He was great everywhere. He was great everywhere. Everywhere he went.
Yeah.
37 years old. You know what Moss was doing at 37? I don't even think he was in the league.
Probably out of the league.
Was he? Yeah. He might have been out by 34.
He's out the league. He might have been. Was he with the 49ers?
He was out the league he was out the league at age 33. Last team was with Tennessee.
Okay, yeah.
He was jumping around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last team was with Tennessee. He was with the 49ers back in what the hell?
He was on a Super on a Super Bowl team.
Yeah. You know, he came back. He came back age 35.
Okay.
So he retired. He like so after he was 33, he retired. In 2011, he didn't play, and in 2012, he tried to come back and try to see if he could win one with San Francisco. He's trying to sneak one in, you know what I mean? And like at 35, he didn't do shit that year. Like he had 28. Oh, you know, he had 28 receptions, 400 yards, but
it's not,
you know, that's like one of them. It's sad.
Yeah, exactly.
Stats, you know what I mean? You ain't doing shit.
That's the O.J. Simpson on the Niners.
Yeah. So his last really productive season was when he was 32. I'll give him that.
Okay.
But damn, from 32 and all the way to like when he started his career, he was like almost every year. Almost every year. The only time where he didn't really serve
was with us.
Yeah. Was literally that year, yeah. With and that first year he had 1,000 yards, like barely, but you know the quarterback play was so bad. But that second year, you know, he like basically he just gave up or whatever. He we already know how
much. Brimblett says Marvin Harrison had 1,400 at 34.
Oh, Marvin Harrison, was he speed? But he was a great route runner too. Yeah,
he was a hell of a route runner though. He was a hell of a technician. He had some speed though, but he was a super technician.
Let me hold up real quick, man. Let's see.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. That paid that.
See, he played. So Marvin Harrison, he kind of came into the league older, like at 24, but he played till he was 36. But his last year where he was productive was when he was 34.
Yeah, 1366.
Yeah. After that, well, you know what? 2008, he had his last year in the league. He had like 600 yards, 60 receptions, 600 yards. And then the year before that, he didn't have anything, but because he got hurt, because he only played like 5 games or something like that. But he was 36. He had 60 receptions. That's not bad, bro.
Not bad at all.
That's not bad. 36, you doing that shit, bro? Like in the NFL, you know, man. League. All right, yeah. So basically, there's some exceptions to the rule, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's a couple, like, you know, not Moss, but Marvin Harrison. Obviously, the ultimate exception is Jerry Rice, T.O.
To me,
yeah, that's about. Someone said Reggie Wayne. I don't know about Reggie Wayne. Did he play?
Did he play that long?
I don't know if he played that long.
Reggie Wayne was cold.
Played until he's 36.
Okay, dang, he did play a long time, man. Okay, is all with the Colts then?
Damn, last year he had 64 receptions. 64 receptions for 779 yards.
That's not bad. At 36.
Oh, okay. Damn, Reggie Wayne. Okay.
He's serving. That's all with the Colts.
Yeah, all with the Colts. And I could tell like the last one right here, that's for sure
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. And I'm telling you, Andrew Luck, bro, that was the biggest what if.
Yeah, he's supposed to be that guy.
Oh, he was gonna be that guy, bro. Easy. But hey, man, we gotta get up out of here, man. We always be doing the random little conversations or whatever at the end, man. But hey, we appreciate everybody.
I'm surprised nobody didn't throw no movie stuff in here. Like, what y'all think about?
Nah, thanks, man. Hey, man, we appreciate everybody pulling up. We'll be back here this Thursday, man. Make sure to tune in. We're gonna have some guy from the Patriots, man, break it down for us this week, man. Make sure to tune in this Thursday around the Shield. Peace.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.